All right, guys, welcome back to episode 9 of 11 Bang Gang. I have here with me, as quoted by a 17-year combat Navy corpsman, the single best machine gun team leader ever, according to somebody. I'm going to leave his name unknown. Welcome, Eric Johnson, to the podcast. Eric, say what's up.
What's up, guys?
Okay. All right. The first thing I want to talk about, we're going to have a lot to talk about because you deployed to Iraq twice and Afghanistan once, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But what I wanted to talk about real quick is probably one of the things that I've been seeing on the news a lot. It's this whole shooting thing. I just wanted to kind of ask what you know about it, because from what I understand, this dude was hired by the CIA to run a team, basically like a mercenary team, and then they kind of stopped responding to him, and he had some issues either getting his citizenship, so they had brought him over here, and then now I think he did that out of spite, to be honest. I think we kind of fucked him. Now, I'm not saying that what he did was justified by any stretch of the imagination, but what I'm saying is like there's more to this story. You probably seen it. You remember having our interpreters that they did so many deployments with us and then had all these background checks and we vetted them, and then they ended up getting like U.S. citizenship after like 8 combat deployments. Did you see that?
I know. I don't know. We had Zabi with us, and I don't know if he ever made it over or not. But when I was in Iraq, we had one of our interpreters that had been with the U.S. for, several deployments. And we found out that he was Al-Qaeda. And yeah, we had this operation called the Last Supper where we invited them all to all the police out in town were corrupt too, so we invited them all to PB Tarwa and Al-Qaim where we were at, and basically when they came out from the dinner, our guys are standing there and full combat load and snatched them all up. So
dang,
I'm not too sold on the interpreters. So
yeah, I mean, my point about the whole issue is, so I've been doing live streams. So for anybody that listens to the podcast, you can find my link tree. My YouTube has my live streams, and I do them on X and Twitch. We had those guys, and but my point is like, if you bring somebody over here, you vetted them, right? And now the CIA, which obviously has never worked out with anything, is supposed to be keeping an eye on them. Why aren't you keeping an eye on them? You know what I'm saying? Like if you choose to bring somebody that you know was involved in something like that here, then you got to watch it. And the FBI should have had him on his radar. And the fact that they let that go to the wayside, if that's what it comes out to be, that we kind of supposedly just forgot about him, that's bullshit, and that's going to have to, that's going to have to, we're going to have to do something about that.
Well, they threw 80,000 of them on a cargo plane and just brought them over here. So
yeah.
Whatever they tell you, I don't believe anything about betting or any of that. I mean, plus, we all know Afghanistan is like living in the Stone Age. So how much can you vet somebody when you have no paper trail on who they really are,
Yeah. And I actually said that on my last episode of my live stream. I said, the problem is you're supposed to vet these people, but you go ask somebody in Afghanistan what year they were born. They don't know. But I did do some research. And so according to what I read, because I brought the receipts, Bush started bringing in refugees. He cut caps from 90K to 70K a year. When Obama came into office from 2009 to 2017, he ramped up refugees to 85,000 a year, focused on Syrian refugees, Syrians, Iraq, Somalis, and Yemens. Okay. So then Trump put a hard stop on it. He cut it back down, and then Biden bounced it back up. So basically it says net post 9/11, we had 1 to 1.5 million Muslim immigrants, but only 400K of those are refugees. And basically the research I did, if you break it down, the 400K refugees are the ones you have to be worried about. But there was some good news. The good news in the research I did is that at a high rate, the young Muslims are not following the traditions. They may be Muslim by blood, they may be Muslim by religion, but they're like not wearing the hijab and they're adopting more of a first world culture. So hopefully we'll see that. And but I'm gonna do a live stream, by the way, covering I'm gonna go all the way back and cover there was a great podcast I listened to called Generation Jihad. I'm gonna cover the Muslim Brotherhood because that's who's really pushing all this extremism. And so I'm going to try to get into the brass tacks about it and, separate it out between extremism and just some dude who is normal. Because, by the way, I have a neighbor over here where I live in the country, and I'm not going to say who he is, but his dad was Pakistani, bro. And like he told me his biggest fear is somebody to find out that he's like, quote unquote Pakistani, because he's scared that the town will be pissed at him. And I'm like, first of all, bro, you wear a cowboy hat, you have cows, and you shoot guns. Like, no one's going to be like, oh, so-and-so's a, Muslim. I'm like, bro, you adopted the culture. You're what?
Assimilated. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you're a normal guy. But anyway. Okay. All right, Eric. I guess we'll start with because we're gonna have to roll quick because we got a lot of stuff. So we're gonna have to hit the highlights. Yeah, we'll start with that. Where'd you grow up?
So grew up in Wichita, Kansas, and I don't know, there's probably 500,000 here, biggest city in Kansas, if that's something to talk about. And went to college for half a semester and realized that wasn't for me. So joined the Marine Corps.
So you joined the Marine Corps out of just like college, isn't it? So you didn't have it. Did you have any aspirations to join the military before college?
Yeah, I mean, I got all kinds of pictures of running around in camo and crap with my buddies when I was a kid, playing guns is what we called it.
Yeah.
And we were shooting each other and all that stuff. So, but yeah, definitely, something I was always interested in. But 9/11 happened and I didn't want to set the whole war out. So I kind of felt like I needed to go get my revenge. So
yeah. Well, why the Marine Corps? Was it you knew, or you were just like, hey, they seem like the best?
I think the Marine Corps is a calling. I mean, it was. I never talked to any other recruiters. I never went to another recruiting office. I walked in there, told the dude, actually, I had to contact them twice before they freaking called me back, which I thought was crazy. But
wow.
Yeah, I went in there, told the recruiter, thank God he was infantry. I go, you can skip the cards and all that. I was like, I want to join. I want to be infantry. Let's get the paperwork going. And he was like, good. I don't put anybody in the Marine Corps unless they're grunts. So I don't know how that did for his quotas, but
probably not too great.
So it sounds like we understand each other. So.
What year was this?
That would have been 05.
05. So, okay.
Yeah,
so
I don't know. I went in the dep, I think, in I don't know, February or March and shipped out in June. So I was in it for 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to get the year so people kind of, when they're listening to the story, they can kind of set where we are. Okay. So you were a freshman when 9/11 happened, or were you in 8th grade?
Sophomore.
Sophomore. Okay. I'm terrible with that. Okay. So you, yeah. See, I was younger. I remember it vividly, but you were at a more impressionable age. So you ship out, you go to Paris Island or San Diego?
No, I went to San Diego.
Oh shit!
I was a PMI at Paris Island though for 2 years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you go to boot camp. You've probably heard me say this if you listen to any episodes. You get there, expectation versus reality. How is it versus how you thought it was going to be?
Man, I feel like it was pretty on point with what I was expecting. I mean, we got off the plane, went to the USO there. They stuck us on the bus, and it was like, okay, it's real now. We were all screwing around on the plane out there, making new friends and stuff. And then, they got us on the bus, and it was like, shut the fuck up, put your head down, don't move, up in your ass from the second you get on there till the minute you walk off that thing. So
Yeah.
It was about like I thought it would be, but
Yeah. Anything crazy happened in boot camp that's worth talking about?
oh yeah, I'm sure there's a few things, but yeah, I remember the one thing that really surprised me though, just backtracking a little bit, was like the 3 days you're there and you don't sleep, because my
Oh, yeah.
recruiter had said, "Oh, you're gonna get 8 hours of sleep a night. Don't worry about it," you know. And then for 3 days you're up before they let you sleep, and that'll take me into the next thing. So this is a pretty funny story. I tell this to a lot of people. We're sitting there. We finally get to go to sleep after 3 days, and I'm laying there in my rag, and I'm like, God, what the hell did I get myself into? I'm such a fool, you know? And then all of a sudden, a few racks down, I hear, and then across the squad bay, I hear, and then all these dudes start crying, and I'm like, what a bunch of freaking pussies, man.
Yeah. Man, I'll tell you, everybody has that moment. And even you know, in the last guy I talked to, he was a recon dude, and he was like me, posters on the wall. You couldn't have talked me out of it. I mean, it was like a chick in a bad relationship. No one, you know, you were like, I'm dead set on this, and everyone else is like, okay, bro, but you're fucking your shit up. And then I got there and was like, there was a point where I was just like, what the fuck, man, this is so stupid. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, so where do you go to SOI? Infantry school. You go to Pendleton or East Coast?
Pendleton, but I got one more pretty funny boot camp story.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So we had a dude named Mahalik, and he was like our guide for a little bit, but he like somehow had run into the drill instructor going to the head, and then ran into him. And then drill instructor Sergeant Hakeem, he was this little dude, but he was probably he was our kill hat, so we all feared him the most, but starts lighting him up. And then he like somehow puts his hands on him or something. The drill instructor just freaking beat the shit out of him.
Oh shit.
He had like a black eye and stuff for like 3 weeks.
Damn. See, was your drill instructors kind of hands-on in 05?
I mean, they would not unless you pushed them. I mean, they would slay the shit out of us all the time. But
yeah,
we got one fresh out of DI school though, about halfway through, and he was even worse than Sergeant Hakeem. I mean, he would. I remember we were up there for team week. We got to go up to Pendleton, so we thought it was all going to be chill, and it was when our senior was up there, but he had to have a couple of days off. And when that second kill hat was there, it was like he fucked with us 24/7.
Yeah.
No, it was like first phase again, you know?
Oh, man. Man, that's funny. Yeah. God. When I went to Fox Company, I had a guy, I'm not going to name him, but if you listen to this podcast, he'll know exactly who he is. He came in and back to the fleet from the drill field. And dude, me and the other senior lance corporals had to have a talk with him. We were like, bro, like, you know, he was a sergeant at the time. We're like, dude, like, you cannot run this squad like this. We are not combat effective shining our fucking boots, dude. Like, this is ridiculous. But he was fucking crazy.
Staff Sergeant Ramos, he was at PI with me too. He was like one of the coolest DIs though that we dealt with on the range, but he was slaying recruits 24/7. I mean,
you know, it's funny. Staff Sergeant Ramos, he's the one who told me that, because my drill instructors were doing shit like punching us. They were putting, like, if your rifle wasn't a level with your ear, they would punch it into your head. They were doing like crazy shit. But apparently my whole drill instructor company, like the whole India company, was under investigation while I was there, you know, because there were some good dudes, even though I thought it was kind of fucked up, but I was like, whatever, we're building men here, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, ours were real aggressive like that, but I don't think they never, it wasn't anything that I wouldn't have expected. Like, we're going to just beat the crap out of you unless you deserved it. So,
Yeah, yeah.
which I only really saw that one time. So,
I mean, it is what it is, but I think the Marine Corps has overall though stayed good. I think where our boot camp is still as hard as it needs to be. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I feel like there are other branches that talk about it and they're like, bro, y'all just are built different. And I think that starts at the foundation. And it's like if you change basic training or boot camp, then you're going to end up with a bad product. You got to build a good foundation. So I think the Marine Corps does that. You know, I've always said we're a cult and they just make us believe a bunch of crazy shit. So
yeah.
yeah.
And then you get your little ceremony that you're in the cult when you're at at the end of the crucible.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, moving on. So, School of Infantry, you go to. You said you went to Pendleton. You do that. Where do you get orders to after that?
29 Palms, 1-7.
Oh my God, the desert. So, for those of you who are civilian listeners and wonder why you get such a reaction from 29 Palms, 29 Palms is in a desert, and the only grass on base is the golf course, I think.
Yeah, and the generals and the parade deck.
It's literally in Southern California. It looks like Afghanistan.
It's in Death Valley.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great place. I've been there 5 times too many. But all right, so 170, you get there. How's that? What's your first reaction getting to the fleet?
So they sent us to 1-7. We were going to Iraq in like 2 months.
Oh shit.
So literally I got there, we checked in, stuck me in weapons company, got fucked with nonstop for a week.
Oh.
And then went on Christmas leave.
No shit.
So yeah, came back from Christmas leave. On New Year's Eve, we had to be back. And I get back and my roommate, they're like hazing him with alcohol, like punching him in the stomach and crap. Cause we were supposed to study our knowledge over while we were gone. Yeah. So I came back and I freaking had everything memorized, ready to go. This dude didn't look at a damn thing. And yeah, he paid for it big time. But, then the next day, everybody, we got called back or we were back from leave. So it was all, squaring everything away. Went straight out to Mojave Viper the next day. So my first range in the fleet was Mojave Viper.
Man, all that live fire training straight up.
So yeah, we go out to, I was in weapons company, so we had vehicles and we drove out to the range.
Oh, hey, quick aside. Did you choose machine gunner when you joined, or did you choose 03 open contract and pick up machine gunner in School of Infantry?
So I was told everybody had to go 03 open, and I think that was kind of the thing because when I got there, they were like, we need 31 machine gunners. And
did that sound cool to you, or were you just like?
So I wanted to be an 11, and my buddy Scott Hookie, who he actually got blown up and sent home a couple months into the deployment, and then worked his ass off to come back and deploy with us. But we can get into that story later. He was like, dude, why don't you want to be a machine gunner? Like, he was like my rack mate, and he's like, it's like the coolest thing in the world, and blah 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 blah. And I wanted to be an 11, and then he started talking me into it. And I was like, man, this dude's right. Like, why don't I want to be a machine gunner? So I put my hand up immediately, get selected. Somehow he didn't get selected.
Oh, no.
And it was this huge thing. And he was the one who wanted to be the machine gunner the most out of anybody there. And somehow they didn't pick him. But the dude requested mass and fought to be a machine gunner.
No shit.
Ended up with us. So
wow. So he went full bore. He was like, y'all can fuck off. I'm gonna be a machine gunner. Damn, that's cool. Anyway, okay. All right, sorry. I missed that. I skipped that. My bad. I know, not the best host. All right, back on to Mojave Viper. So you get to 1-7, your first range is Mojave Viper. For those of you who don't know, there's a lot of tiny ranges that an infantry company will do. And then they'll go to what's called Mojave Viper, which is basically quote unquote our final exam to get certified to go fight wars. So these are people that watch us and make sure you're safe and you're doing all the right things. You're doing ranges where you're live fire. So you got Marines attacking an objective. The support by fire will shift fire. You may have artillery coming overhead. You're dropping live bombs. This is a big deal. So this is basically simulated war without an enemy. But anyway, go ahead, man. So how was Mojave Viper for your first time?
I mean, it was miserable. I was getting screwed with like 24/7. But so like we went out to our first range, and they had so much ordnance, dude. Like everybody in the company got to shoot like 3 toes.
Damn.
So I got to shoot these tow missiles on like my first live fire range in the Marine Corps, which I thought was like the coolest thing in the world. But I was dreading getting off the damn range and going back to getting screwed with. Well, one of the senior lance corporals there was like, stage your weapons on this truck and go shoot. Well, I get off the range and I don't have my rifle with me because it's staged on this truck. So my team leader or vehicle commander, Lance Corporal Cheney, I think was his name, sees that I don't have my rifle. And that was like, I don't know, probably one of the worst days of my life. I was pretty much sitting on the side of the Humvee for hours with my rifle out.
Oh, shit.
And it was crazy because we drove out there and we drove back, and we were just going to do leaving truck watch. And I was already scheduled for like marathon truck watch or Superman truck watch that night. But we got back and they're like, I can't remember if it was that day or the next day, but I get called up to the company office and I'm like, oh shit, I'm getting NJP'd for not having my rifle. And like, it wasn't even my fault, honestly. So we get up there and the lieutenant's like, it's like me and a bunch of other dudes that I got boot dropped with. And they're like, we're over TO. You guys are going to 3-4.
Oh, shit.
So we went and packed up our shit and walked across the base over to 3-4 and checked into 3-4.
No shit. Yeah, for anybody who's a civilian listener, one of the gravest offenses in the world for an infantry, Marine, or any O3 combat-oriented job is losing your rifle or a piece of serialized gear. I have seen dudes low crawl through sand in the dark looking for a lost pair of NVGs or a rifle, and I've done it, I've been caught without my rifle, it is a complete screw fest. They will make pain, because it's the number one rule of an infantryman. It's an extension of your body. You sleep with it, you shit with it, you do everything with it. You do not let it out of your sight. So, but yeah, so you go over to 3-4 now. Was 3-4 chiller, or are they just as bad?
So I don't know, man. It was kind of like totally different. 3-4 was like the deployment machine of the Marine Corps, like even when I was there. So they had already been to Iraq 3 times.
Holy cow.
By the time I got over there. So all of my seniors were 3-pump chumps. And they weren't as like brutal, you know what I mean, as far as like being violent with you and stuff, or like beating you up and stuff. Cause like my team leader was like, choke my ass out because my room wasn't clean enough. But it was more like they would screw with you, but they wanted to train you to be a great Marine more than anything. And I still talk to my first team leader, Corporal Schizler.
Nice name.
All the time. Yeah. And he's a crazy mountain man. He runs a power plant now, but he's a great dude. But I was scared to death of that guy back then. And he would run my fucking dick into the dirt up and down those sand hills, him and Corporal Wilson. Corporal Wilson was like a chicken farmer or something too.
Oh, really? Was he?
Yeah, in Arkansas. So we'd say that, he was I would always say he was like made in a factory. No, it was Missouri. Made in a factory in Missouri or some shit. Cause he was like, I don't think I ever saw anybody that could PT like that dude. Like, if you ever saw that big sand hill, the sand monster at 29 Palms, the dude could sprint up that.
The one over there behind main side, like
Yeah.
right back there. Oh
Yeah.
shit, that's a big ass hill,
And
dude.
he could just sprint up it, dude. And it's like you take one step forward, it's two steps back because the sand is so deep. Yeah.
Wow.
I
That's a
saw that dude
monster.
sprint up that damn thing with like a freaking machine gun on his back, and the rest of the damn section was like barely getting up the hill.
God, how
He's a
big
legend.
Dude, I mean, you find guys like that. And it was funny because I was just talking to somebody on Facebook on another post about like toxic leadership. So he joined after the war, basically. And he said that it was the worst 4 years of his life because his seniors had went to Afghanistan and all they talked about was how they were never going to see the war and they were pieces of shit. And I was like, that's kind of fucked up because I went to the wing and, people treated me like some stupid god in the wing because they were like, you got 9 ribbons as a corporal and a combat action ribbon. But, and when you got gunnies with like 4 ribbons, but it's like I told them, the job is the job, man. Like yeah, we did it, but there's no reason to completely, talk super shit. But I think that there's a difference between seniors just abusing the junior Marines just to abuse them, and then seniors who are like hard on junior Marines because we learned the lessons and people died, and we're trying to show you that when we do this, you need to do it right. And if you don't, and that instant obedience to leadership is not there, people die. And I think that's the difference between a good leader and somebody who's just a psychopath. And I think you see both.
I think 3-4, I mean, the NCOs we had were incredible. And like out of our boot drop that dropped with those guys that trained us, we ended up having like 6 guys who got honor grad at machine gun leaders course, myself being one of them.
Damn.
I mean, we knew everything, dude, before we ever went to school, So they were great over there. I don't know what it was about 1-7, but I know like my vehicle commander, I found out through the Lance Corporal Underground that he had never he didn't even make the last trip to Iraq with them. So I don't know if he had little man syndrome or what.
Yeah.
But I would talk to like, my other buddies that came over from 1-7 with us, and it was like worse for them than it was for me. So, like my buddy Hookie, I was telling you about, like his team leader like pissed in his helmet and made him like put it on his head. So,
oh God.
Yeah.
So you deployed to Iraq with 3-4. 3-4, and if any of y'all want to check out your Facebook profile, you asked AI about 3-4, and it gave some pretty cool responses. So 3-4 is pretty legit. They were literally the deployment machine. So you go to Iraq with them the first time. Where'd y'all go in Iraq? Did you go to Kuwait first, or did you fly straight into Iraq?
Yeah, so we flew in. We took that Germany route, so landed in Germany, then flew into Kuwait, and then went into Camp Liberty for like a week. And that was the hottest place I've ever freaking been to, man. It's like you're close to the Persian Gulf, so you have like 120-degree heat with humidity. It was brutal. I remember just getting off there thinking 29 Palms was hot, and I was like, dude, this is like Satan's asshole.
That's great. So what time of year is this? What year is this? Because you went.
We got there at the end of August, so it was like the hottest time of the year.
So 2006.
Yeah, it was 2006.
Okay, 2006. Okay, where were y'all in Iraq? Where did you end up going?
So we were all over the place the whole deployment, but we started out in Al-Qaim, which was, I think we were like 2 units after Steel Curtain and Iron Fist.
Yeah.
So a place called Karabla, which is right on the Syrian border. So it's about like, you go down Route Bronze, about half a mile, and you're at Camp Gannon, which is literally on the border checkpoint between Syria and Iraq.
Okay. So yeah, Operation Steel Curtain. I talked about that on a live stream. Guys, I've done like 3 of them. I really suck at them because it's like, I don't have anybody to talk to, and I was trying to read. And anyway, I promise they're getting better, each one. But I did talk about Operation Steel Curtain. So Fox 2-1 one of their platoons, I think second platoon is what I talked about. I talked about that story. They walked into that operation on the Syrian border, Steel Curtain, with 47 Marines and only 17 walked out. It was an incredible story of just horrible. Incredible combat. It was insane. So do you guys go to that specific area where Steel Curtain was? And then what was the mission that the deployment had? If you were moving to different areas, kind of what was the overall gist of the deployment?
So we were in the hold phase in that area.
Okay.
So like, for those of you who don't have a mount background, it's clear hold build. So they clear it, you hold the ground, you take, and then you build. So we were, out doing key leader engagements and crap like that. Mostly, we didn't get into any firefights where I was at. All that was over in India companies. But we had IEDs out the ass there.
Mm.
And they were everywhere in the AO, and we had one EOD team for the entire battalion back then. So if you cordoned off an IED, it was a minimum of a 12-hour wait.
Holy shit. I think that we really learned our lesson about that in Iraq. So, by the time we went to Afghanistan, we had an EOD team per company.
Yeah.
And I think that was a lesson learned early on in Iraq. It's like, dude, because when I reenlisted in 2012, the EOD bonus was $90,000 to reenlist.
It was $120,000 when I reenlisted. We had a dude, a 51, who was a sergeant and went over there. And I feel horrible about this now, but we were all like, dude, you're going to get your fucking legs blown off, man. Like, what are you doing? The money is not worth it. He's like, no, it's going to be fine. The dude is missing his legs now.
Oh, damn. God dang, that sucks. I thought about it and I asked my wife, I was like, hey, because she was the one who was like, after I got back from Afghanistan, she was like, you can reenlist, but you ain't doing this again. Mm-hmm. And I was like, let me do EOD. They know where the IEDs are. She was like, you ain't fooling me, asshole.
I can get me a new Z28 Camaro or a Mustang.
30% interest, screw paying cash for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so anything crazy happened in the first deployment that you want to talk about? Y'all are clearing, building, holding, you're moving to different areas. Anything significant in that first Iraq pump?
Oh, there's a lot. But the main one from Karabla was we had dudes hitting IEDs like crazy in Humvees. That was like, we were still driving blackout when we went in there, and none of the trucks had armor on them. So we actually took the trucks to get the frag kits put on them, the aftermarket crap. So the doors had armor and stuff. But pressure plates were just becoming a thing when we got there. And they were blowing the front off the trucks, and then they started running the wires to where the pressure plate was offset. So they figured out, oh, we're just blowing the front off the trucks. We're not killing anybody. I don't know why the hell we were doing this, because every time we were hitting pressure plates, it was at night, and we started driving with our headlights on. I guess they thought that like being able to see an IED with headlights on was a real thing, which it wasn't. So we're out on this fucking night patrol. Every time we went out on one, everybody was pissed. We were all bitching about it the entire time. But like me and the gunners would be we had these little PRRs, which I don't know why we didn't have them in Afghanistan. They were freaking awesome. You just stick it in your ear and you push the talk.
PRR, for people that aren't familiar with the acronyms you're throwing around, is personal radio, essentially.
Yeah. So we all had those up in the turret, and we would just always be like bullshitting and joking around on patrol with each other. We weren't being complacent, but it gets pretty tedious sitting up there driving. The village is pretty small that we're at. You go up and down every road 3 or 4 times on a vehicle patrol. So, but we go into this area called the Shark's Fin, which, I was told that was like the hottest part of Steel Curtain. And I don't know, it's at night and the streets are empty, and I'm like making fun of somebody on the radio or something. Next thing I know, the truck in front of me just fucking blows up in flames, and I get hit with this like huge concussion. And that was my buddy Hookie's truck and our corpsman. We had my buddy Shaw, Corporal Marquez, the vehicle commander, and our corpsman, Doc Sayer, in there. And they hit a triple stack anti-tank mine with 2 tanks of propellant on it. So what they were doing was they were taking these like propane tanks or whatever and filling them with some kind of fuel in it. So when you hit an IED, it would make a massive like fireball and light everything on fire. So back then the SOP for us was we don't hook into the turret because it's better to be blown out than stuck in there. They changed all that in Afghanistan, made everybody buckle in.
Yeah.
So Hookie does get launched out of the turret and thrown like 30 feet from the truck. And then they also told us to combat lock the doors because one of the things that was happening was you drive through the market in other AOs and a dude would walk up with an S vest and detonate himself and open the door. So in my truck, we all agreed, fuck no, we're not doing that because of this exact situation, that if we hit an IED with a propellant and you get locked inside the vehicle, no one's going to be able to get you out.
Right.
Well, Doc combat locked his door. So I don't know if I don't think he was dead immediately because I heard the screams coming from that truck and they were horrifying. Still haunt me to this day. But my team leader ran out, was trying to bust that door open and get it open, and there was 50 cal rounds cooking off everywhere. It's like a miracle that nobody got hit by one of those. So he tries to get the door open, and eventually it's like, exhaustion, and the truck's up in flames, and he's like, there's no way in hell he can do it without catching himself on fire. So, yeah, we lost Doc that night, and somehow we only had 1 KIA from that big ass IED. They must have ran over it on the back wheel, and I don't know. I don't think he died right away, like I said, but it's amazing that like all of them didn't die that night. So intervention or whatever, and then Hookie got launched out and he had shrapnel all in his legs, but the dude like worked his ass off and redeployed with us on the next one. He was like my team leader for a while, or my squad leader for a while when we got back. But that was the big thing that happened in Karabla. And then it was like the whole company was out there kicking down doors, and we had pretty much the whole town out on the damn curb. But
it's insane that Hookie lived. Getting thrown 30 feet out of the truck with the explosion. Did it burn his, did he have any skin burns from any of that?
Well, he's got like on his legs, the hot metal, I think that went into him, like seared the outside of it.
Right.
He's got kind of like some bad scarring there. But, for what they hit and the extent of his wounds, I'd say he was pretty lucky.
Man, that's insane. So these are these the Humvees that we seen by the time I got there in 08, where they had the thick armor on them, like where you had that big bulletproof window you had to slide? Or are these the generation before that were like the thin-skinned Humvees?
The armor wasn't as thick as like what the A&A were driving around in.
Right.
So, they have the turrets with like the ballistic glass in them and shit. We just have like squared off ones.
Yeah.
And like your shoulders would stick up above it, but your chest would, like the ballistic plate would cover it. So we had those put on, and the little frag kits on the side. Like,
damn. So when I got there in 08, the Humvees that I seen, these were the generation before, because I'm pretty sure that they were. Dude, that's insane, man. And that's just a horrible, I guess it's one of those things where it's like lessons learned, where some people are like, oh, we need to do this. And then other people are like, no, dude, it's just like, I think you might have deployed before they made this rule. But I remember before my first deployment, they were like, any Under Armour you cannot wear. They were like, because they found out in Iraq, dudes were wearing Under Armour under their uniforms, and if they get blown up, it was sticking to their skin.
Yeah, they couldn't get it off. It was like melting to their skin.
Yeah. Damn.
Making it worse.
Holy shit. I mean, it's insane. But all right, so you do that. When do you get back? Is that a 7-month deployment or is it longer?
Well, it was supposed to be 7 months, but they announced the troop surge, and we were one of the 2 lucky Marine units that got extended. So,
oh man,
we got slapped with a 90-day extension.
Okay, so 3 months. Mm-hmm. So you get back from that. You said India Company kind of did most of the fighting on that deployment.
No,
so,
just in that area. We were only in Al-Qaim till like Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
So like we had our Thanksgiving dinner, and then we packed our shit and moved to Hit, which was right outside Ramadi. And we went to go support an Army unit there. Those dudes have been deployed for like 24 months, man, and just kept getting extended.
God.
The mechanized unit out of Germany. They were getting fucked up, man. The night we got there, I don't know if you ever saw that IED video that was going around, 20 years ago or whatever. It was a big deal back then. But we pulled in that night. We hit an IED on the way up there. Our company gunny did in the high back, and it hit the high back.
Oh, shit.
And nobody was hurt, thank God. But we were pulling in that night, and their QRF was going out because this dude, they were sitting in a tank on an OP watching the road to keep the supply routes open because they did not have control of the city. I mean, and this dude low crawls up with an IED, puts it on the tank, low crawls off, detonates the shit, videotapes it, kills everybody inside.
Oh, shit.
That happened in the first like 30 minutes I was there.
Whoa.
And we had already heard all about how this place was like the Wild West. And, as a boot, I was like, fuck. Because my mindset on my first deployment and my third deployment was way different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 I could see that. Like if I went back to Afghanistan today, I'd be completely different than I was the first time. Because the first time you're just like, let me just survive this bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then like, I feel like on your second deployment, and like, I don't have any experience with this. I mean, my first deployment was a MEU, but on your second deployment to combat, I would assume now you're like, okay, I understand this, and now I'm going to maximize my efficiency in this. I'm not scared, quote unquote, anymore. Now now I can use these skills and experience I have, and I can be better.
So, yeah, I don't know if you want me to talk more about Hit.
No, you can hit the highlights. I mean, if it was near Ramadi, we can roll with that.
Yeah, it's like you couldn't even go out during the day because the sniper threat there was so bad. You would probably, somebody was going to get shot in the face. I mean, they were good. So, and then so they had those 4 KIAs that day. We were gearing up to go do another operation. They had a dude up on post because it was at this train station, like right on the edge of town. And it stunk so fucking bad there, dude. They had a big sulfur, like the ground there was yellow. There was so much sulfur. And it stunk like sulfur, and there was a sulfur plant there. So it smelled like farts like 24/7 when you were there.
Oh, man.
They had one of the Army guys was up on post. They had a post on top of this big giant train warehouse where we stayed. They just put like wood over the train track pits where they'd like change the oils. It was like a maintenance bay.
Oh, okay.
We just had cots lined up in there. The whole company was in there. And that's where we stayed. But on top of that building was a post, and it had ballistic glass in one little area that you could look out, like, most of the posts you probably saw in Afghanistan. But back then, all of them didn't have the ballistic glass up in the post like that. They must have pushed it out there because the sniper threat was so bad. Because we didn't have that on any of the posts in Al-Qaim. But
yeah.
So this dude's standing there on post in this little tiny window, gets shot in the face and fucking killed.
Holy shit. Mm-hmm. Damn. Dude. What did y'all, I'm assuming y'all scout sniper team was probably doing a ton of counter sniper work, I would assume.
Yeah, they, they had already pushed out, and they were killing so many people that their stupid battalion commander kicked them out of the city and made them come back to the company position, stay stuck. And they were killing IED in placers left and right, man. I mean, I got photos out the ass of these dudes with their heads blown off.
I feel like somebody was talking about this on X the other day, but I don't have any experience with this, and you might. But they were talking about there are certain leaders that care so much about their career that they actually hinder combat in combat because they're like, I don't want this to look bad. You know what I mean? It's like the whole thing about the whole thing right now on the news right now about the quote unquote narco boats. They hit it with the missile, then the dudes were hanging on the side, and then they hit it again. But yeah, I'm like, have y'all not watched any of the GWAT stuff? I mean, like, we're like sitting back going, oh, we wasn't supposed to kill survivors from a strike. Oh shit! Like, you're about to hit war crimes for every single person who served in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Well, if they give you air, I mean, I know we were out there fighting down to their level every fucking day, getting denied air every day. It was ridiculous. And like Iraq on my first pump, it wasn't like that. If we wanted a gun run, we got our gun run. If we wanted to drop a 500-pound bomb, we dropped a 500-pound bomb. Like, it was totally different than it was in the Bush years and then under the Obama years, for sure.
You think that Obama drew the combat force back? The only reason I ask that is because, you know, Obama's known for doing more drone strikes than any other president. And then he did the surges. So it's kind of weird that maybe that changed.
I mean, I don't know if it was our company leadership, battalion leadership, or what, but when I was out there, I did not feel like they had our back. Like, as far as if we needed air assets, we weren't getting them. I mean, we got denied over and over. And like, even Dina got his freaking ass handed to him for dropping a freaking mortar and handheld. Like, it's a 60-month fight. It ain't that big. So, and then like, I remember specifically, we were walking out of that post 3 we built in Mishmash, Potato, Carez, or whatever it was called. And we start getting lit up by machine guns and recoilless rifle. And I tell Pope to start lighting up the tree line because everybody's just standing there. We were out in a field and we egressed back into the base and then orientated that way towards the tree line. And I'm like, dude, there's muzzle flashes over there. Light that shit up. So we start shooting. Captain Flynn rips my ass after that, telling me I don't have PID. And Lieutenant D-Nug or D. Maria rips his ass. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? We're getting lit up.
Yeah. I mean, if you listen.
Violence to action, man.
If you listen to my last episode with the recon guy, he was in Sangin, and he said that Sangin, dude, he was talking a specific time that they had a medevac coming in, and he said I couldn't even see what I was shooting at. He said all I could see was a tree line, there's muzzle flashes, and you're just putting fucking rounds towards it. And I mean, that's how it is. Like, I mean, if the guy's 600 yards away under shade, you're not gonna see. But if you see a muzzle flash, how's that not fucking PID?
Well, I have open terrain all around me, and I have a tree line, and the rounds are coming from that direction. I'm pretty sure I need to suppress that.
Exactly. I think that comes down to, you know, back to what I said earlier. I think sometimes people are scared to do violence of action on behalf of their career, and that hinders combat sometimes. I think we've seen it. I think Iraq, would you say that Iraq was a little bit different because things were closer?
I mean, it was still a lot of you didn't know a lot where it was coming from.
Yeah.
But the engagements were definitely closer than they were. I mean, I felt like they were probably in Afghanistan 900 meters or more most of the time.
Yeah. There were on rare exceptions. I think we've seen some dudes. Me personally, I would say I agree with you. It was like 200 to 1,000. I mean, pretty much. And I mean, I've also had times in Afghanistan where we were just getting shot at and we had no fucking clue. I mean, you know, it was just rounds pinging in, and you're like, from where?
This dude's got to have a murder hole cut somewhere, and he's just shooting.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
mean, they felt like they were close, but they weren't accurate. I mean, but they scared the shit out of you the same. But yeah, I mean, I could talk about that first deployment all day. The second one was not as suspenseful. Man, I think the one that I mean, the one of the times I thought I was going to die was that first time we had that IED strike I talked about. But I was like, I don't think I'd ever been shaken so bad that in my entire life. And
Yeah.
that response, I mean, eventually it went away just from like getting desensitized, I think. But later on, when we got moved to Anna in Iraq, because we traveled all over the place, but I was on this cop at post, and I'm standing there bored out of my mind doing 6 on, 6 off. Because third platoon, at this cop, we had a map section and one squad from third platoon, and all third platoon did was stand post there, and we did missions out of there. But they went to go support the SEALs on a mission, so we were stuck on post for like 2 weeks, 6
Oh.
6 off. Barely had enough guys to even do it, but I'm standing on post watching this sheep herder that's always out there. You know, thinking about how much I can't wait to get home. And all of a sudden I hear whoosh, like this huge like sound through the air, and I'm like, that don't sound good. And this fucking rocket hits back like behind the post, and I'm like, oh shit. So I pop up and I'm like looking for a spotter or something. Then I hear another one coming in. So I duck back down, and it hits like right on the post. So in that moment, I was thinking I was going to fucking die. But like I get knocked out and come to, and there's like smoke and dust and shit everywhere. And like I hear my buddy Wright on the radio, like, Silky, Silky, like yelling my name. And I'm all like disoriented and shit,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm okay, on the radio. And yeah, I don't remember much about the rest of that post after that, or what really happened afterwards. I think I was probably
Yeah, you got concussed.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I just said, I mean, I was like, I'm good,
Dude, that's the craziest thing is I specifically remember hitting an IED in Afghanistan, but it's like the next 24 hours is completely gone, or like 12 hours. It's just blank. Like I have no recollection of what happened after that. Like it's wild to me. I remember I remember turning the truck around. I remember looking at the tire, but the next 12 hours showing up in Shergazi after we hit another ID, I think it took us a whole nother day to get back. I have no recollection of that for like the next 12 hours.
That was
gone.
Was that when we were all out there, and where that little castle was? They said that like Alexander the Great built.
Yeah, I don't think it was out there.
The whole fucking company got stuck out there because so many trucks got blown up.
I think it was at the Triangle of Guilt, wherever that operation. It was out there where Mama Carez. It was out there.
Okay.
Yeah. It was on the way back.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyways, but that was like, man, I know that thing like gave me some bad PTSD when that happened.
Dude.
When I got back the first time, every time I heard a fucking airplane, I was ducking for cover, man. That like scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I bet.
It was like months before I could hear an airplane and not freak out.
Damn. So that thing, so you do that. Give me another crazy or funny story that happened from Iraq, on that deployment.
Well, I mean, oh man, there's a couple I want to tell you, but
no, go ahead. No, rock them, and I'll cut you off if we,
it's okay.
if we go too long.
So we when we were in HIT, we had this gym that was outside the little train bank where we were at.
Yeah.
And it was like, I can't
outdoor gym.
It's like right before Christmas, or we did a huge operation and cleared all these houses and been like tracks with tanks and stuff. And like I want to just tell you something about the operation because it's cool. But so we clear these houses and if we find shit in it, we found a lot of shit. They would take these little tracks and go up to the wall and push the wall over and just take the whole house down.
Nice. Wow.
That was cool. But while we were on that operation, I'm going to give you two kind of. This one's kind of funny. The other one's a serious story, but we stopped overnight at a little outpost they had out there. It was called the BU Split, and it was where bronze uranium meet. One went to Hit and Fallujah, and the other one went off to Ramadi. So that's where all the roads met, and they would just
Shit.
the shit out of it. So the Army built a cop right there, a little post right there, that just all they did was watch the road and keep the logistics routes open. So we go in there to sleep, dude. It is like one of the coldest nights of my life that night. The coldest I ever remember was in Afghanistan, but we're all like those memes you see now about dudes standing behind the exhaust to warm up. We were doing that shit. That's why that hit so close to home to me because we were all standing behind the tanks, like trying to keep warm. Well, like literally me and my buddy Fergie, he was a little guy and I was like a bigger dude, So he got in my sleeping bag with me and we put our 4 sleeping systems together and we were in that sleeping bag together, spooning all night and cuddling for warmth. He was a little spoon. And in the middle of the night, it was on New Year's Eve. I wake up and all these 50 cals are going off. Scared the shit out of me, dude. I wake up and we were like sleeping by vehicles, fucking hit my head on the armor on this vehicle. And I'm like grabbing my gun and like there's a berm behind me and we're all running up there getting on the berm. And then everybody's freaking out thinking like this freaking cop's like getting overrun,
Yeah.
Well, these jackasses had and there was like white star clusters going off everywhere and shit.
Oh, so it's like Vietnam.
Yeah. Yeah. And the whole sky's lit up. Well, these dudes had these like little motion sensor deals that stood post for them.
Okay.
And they could monitor all of them from the COC. So if they'd see something, they could the gun would shoot. It was like crazy technology back then. Man.
Oh, shit.
Like I never saw anything else anywhere, but I don't know if it was like a test thing or what, but all these 50 cals were on like remote sensors. Well, these fucking assholes had shot all this stuff off for their New Year's Eve celebration at midnight. And we found out after everybody was freaking out, and that was their little celebration. So everybody was pissed. Everybody got woke up and we'd been out for like a week. Everybody was exhausted. So I was real pissed.
Dude, that's so funny. I mean, that's the thing is like people don't understand that like when something like that happens, it doesn't matter who's on rest, quote unquote. When you start getting attacked, it doesn't matter whether you went to sleep 5 minutes ago. Your ass is getting up and you're going stand 2, which means 100%. Everybody's going to get on post. Everybody's running around in their underwear with their M16, fucking like, let's get some with their Kevlar on. I've seen it more than once, but like that's how it goes. Did you ever, you probably wasn't on Shergazi. We had tripwires around our main position in Afghanistan, and there was a donkey that apparently had walked up and tripped one of the sensors, and the machine gunner, I don't know if he shot the donkey or he shot, but I just remember it being a big deal because it was in the middle of the night and I was on. I was by the COC and we were like, oh shit. And we all like everybody's like going crazy.
This is it, boys.
Yeah. It's coming, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny, dude. Okay. All right. What else you got on that deployment?
Well, so that was that. When we got back from that operation, we got, a couple of days off. I think it was at Christmas time. So we had a couple of days where we started, basically what the mission was while we were there, where we were going to clear all the outside areas. and then, interdict Al Qaeda or whatever out there and disrupt what the hell their supply lines coming into the town, take away munitions, crap. After that, we were moving into the city and we were going to start the clear phase. And we all thought we were going to clear the whole city, which didn't happen, which we were disappointed. But we would push out on these OPs for 48 hours. And our job was to basically just start shit with Al Qaeda there and get them to attack us instead of attack them as they built these patrol bases inside the city. So before we went out and started that mission, we had a couple days for prep and all that. And it was before Christmas, and we were going to get our Christmas dinner and all that there. Little sat phone time, because this base was hooked up. It had like internet and phones and like badass little chow hall in there. I think it was like a diner or something for the train guys that worked there, but it was nice. They had like Armed Forces Network in there. So we
nice.
Watched the football games and stuff. But I was inside playing my I don't know, I think we were playing cards or something. Or maybe I was playing somebody's Game Boy or something back then. Music. I don't know. I was just chilling in my rack, and my best buddy at the time, Fergie, was there next to me. And I was like, dude, let's go take a piss, because you had to have a battle. But
yeah,
he's like, hold on, dude, I'm in the middle of a game. He was like playing, I don't think we had PSP then. I think that was second deployment. He's playing his Game Boy or something. And so like 15 minutes passed, and I'm like, dude, let's go piss. And he's like, no, I'm still playing this. Or he's like, I'm almost done. And I was like, fuck this, I'm going by myself. So I walk out there and walk over to these outdoor piss tubes, and they had burn shitters there, so it stunk like horribly over there.
Oh.
And I'm taking a piss, and all of a sudden I just hear this giant fucking explosion behind me, and I'm like, oh shit, we're getting mortared. So, because we got mortared like every fucking day there, and the shitters were out in the middle of this field off the train tracks with no HESCOs around them or anything.
Oh.
And I was just totally out in the open. So I start sprinting back. On my way back, I see my best buddy laying there on the fucking ground. And he got hit. And there's another fucking mortar that goes off like right by us. I'm surprised that we weren't all secondary. So I pick his ass up with my buddy always, and we run him into the COC and start working on him. And there's still mortars going off outside. And basically I got stuck, in this mass casualty drill, because we ended up having like 19 casualties from that one strike. Fergie was the worst of it. He ended up losing his kidney. And he went home, but we Blackhawked a couple dudes out of there. And yeah, that was crazy, dude. Like their base, they were so damn complacent. They didn't have any HESCOs outside the gym. No HESCOs around the shitters. So it was pretty much like if you weren't in that concrete building,
or right up against the HESCO.
Yeah, there was no protection for you, and they were getting mortared every day.
Damn.
They never improved their position, dude.
Man.
So
I will give it to the Army. The Army, them motherfuckers fill sandbags like up. Like, if you've seen the pictures of like the Army post, and even some of the older Iraq posts, dude, you would have you probably seen it, a sandbag wall in front of a post and on top and on the, down the sides and stuff. I get that failure of leadership, I guess, at some point.
This unit, they didn't. We're not very improved or anything. And I think they thought, shit, we're in tanks and Bradleys, we're good,
Right.
But it wasn't. We had an RPG hit the fucking train station. There's no sandbags up in the freaking windows, and it shattered the glass all over the place. Luckily, it didn't go through the damn window, but some dude just randomly fired when it hit the building we were in.
Shit.
Knocked the glass out. Nobody was in that rack, thankfully.
Now, is this the deployment where you get a Valor Award or no?
No, I got that in Afghanistan.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. we'll move on. I didn't want to skip that story.
That's an interesting story.
Yeah.
Do you want to lieutenants make dumbass decisions?
Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you get back from this. What year do you stay in 3-4 or 2-4? I meant no, 3-4.
Yeah. So I stayed in 3-4. That was my first deployment with them. I did 2 with them. The second deployment, I was a team leader when we got back. And then my mom, I found out she had cancer.
Oh shit.
So I went home on emergency leave and she died like, I don't know, probably 2 weeks after I got home or a week.
Damn.
Hospital. They like went in to do exploratory surgery and she just like never came out of it. So I was like dealing with like PTSD from this rough deployment we had. And then my mom dying. And I was like so fucking depressed, man. I was like drinking my ass off every day. I was there, got really out of shape. Um, so I needed some time to get, settle the estate and get her buried and all that. So after my 10 days of leave, I took 30 days of recruiter's assistance. And when I got back, I had lost my team. They stuck me on duty the first day. I was back. And I don't know, dude, I was like not myself at all. And the Marine Corps, they don't give a shit about stuff like that. You're expected to just be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I was kind of a turd, man. Um, and after I lost my team, I didn't give a shit anymore. And I was like, I'd got really out of shape. And then we went to Yuma for like, I don't know, I think it was like a month for, we were testing the Ospreys.
Okay.
And when we got back from Yuma, my buddy was in the armory and I was like, fuck this. I don't need weapons platoon. I was pissed off at everybody. They tried to NJP me for hazing, like right when we got back. And I was like, fuck the Marine Corps. I hated the Marine Corps, all that. So the other armor was all jacked up and they fired him. And then G put in a good word for me. And Lieutenant Boyle, our XO, was like, yeah, I want that guy. So I went to the armory.
How
And
was that? I want to ask because, that's what I did my second deployment. When we went to Afghanistan, I ended up being PSD for Captain Flynn, and doing all that shit. But it ended up being great in Afghanistan because I was, it was cool. But I still got to go out and do shit because when I went to the armory is a special place.
It is.
Because you're kind of, you literally only answer to the XO because you're now in company headquarters. The XO is your lieutenant. You kind of really are on your own program for the most part. So you were kind of spiraling. So how does this turn out when you go to the armory? Does it help you or does it hurt you in the long run?
Well, I think it helped me in the fact that I was able to get away from the whole every day of being in the line company. And I was like kind of pee, like you said, and I could stay up all night and fucking drink and then go to the armory fucked up in the morning and
take a nap.
Armory, not PT, eat fast food every day. I was not taking care of myself or staying in shape. And it was crazy because I went over there. Then, like, I didn't know what the hell was going on in the armory. Week later, G's dad fucking dies. So he leaves on emergency leave. He's gone for like 6 weeks and it's just me there. So I got this totally fucked up armory. And I just took it and freaking organized everything, started making spreadsheets for checkout shit. Everything started running way smoother. XO started to love me.
Yeah.
And then, we went on leave and came back and we're getting ready to deploy and doing Mojave Viper and all that. And then I got sent out to this place called, I was on advance party first, but we got there. It was like, I was expecting this crazy ass deployment again, and we get there and we're doing our classes before we go out. And they're like, Iraq is not the same as it was. We're demilling. We're getting ready to leave. The cars are driving with us now. We're tearing down and we're getting the fuck out of here, basically.
What year is this?
This was 07.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Sounds
this
about
would be
right.
February '07.
Yeah.
So within the freaking 9 months or whatever that we were gone, all this groundwork that we'd been working on, had paid off, and you could see that. And
Yeah.
the whole place was changed. I mean, there was nothing going on. So I get sent to this place called Cop Timberwolf. They built this outpost there to make sure that they weren't shooting rockets into Al Assad. So it was just me and third platoon there. And it was so chill, dude. Like, we played poker every night with our freaking platoon sergeant. I had an armory there. I was responsible for getting rid of all the gear in there. So it was just me and the lieutenant that was there doing packing shit up and sending it back, to get it out of there.
Yeah.
So we demilled this. Nothing significant happened there. They did some, operations. I did my radio watch every night.
So,
Called
so
home on the sat phone every day.
so it's crazy you actually got to do the armory custodian job in country, because when I got there, we issued everything before we left. Me
Yeah.
and Stuart did, and then Stuart was kind of in charge of that. The CO and XO were like, "You're the operations officer because we don't have an officer, so you're the operations dude." And so I literally led the meeting every night, helped organize the operations for COC, and then every other time I was react. I was the backup react, or everywhere the XO or CO wanted to go. If CO was like, "I want to go to this firefight," we were like, "Fuck it, let's go." I was Vic One driver. But what I really wanted to ask, so you got to do that, and you said it was a chiller deployment. So in what you seen, would you say that we did something in Iraq? We actually changed the country in a positive way?
So after my second deployment, it was all about, I re-enlisted over there so I could get the tax-free money.
Yeah.
Because I had like bounced out of what I was in, and I started working out every day.
Nice.
At the COP, we got sent to this place called COP Ellis. It was in the Haditha Triangle in a place called Barwana, which was one of the most kinetic places in Iraq prior to us being there.
Right.
And we had a bunch of positions we had to demill there. So I was, in charge of basically getting all the serialized gear out of there.
Right.
And that was, it was a big task to tear all that stuff down, man. It was fucking working parties every day. It sucked.
God dang, that sucks.
Yeah. So I'd like rebuilt myself as a Marine there, got back in shape. Didn't know what the hell I wanted to do after the Marine Corps. And I heard Marines were going to Afghanistan, but I was burnt out from the fleet. And I was
Right.
like, fuck this. I'm taking 2 years off, or I'm going to go to Paris Island for a while. I ain't never been to the East Coast. I want to see what it's all about.
Yeah.
So,
So you take a job doing PMI at Paris Island? Is that what you end up doing?
yeah, so I had, fucked up my PFP score really bad. And I was going to pick up corporal early with the rest of my peers that I went in with, but I got in trouble for hazing
Oh yeah.
because we had these two twins that were all jacked up, and we were making them do exercises in the barracks room. One of the kids has a panic attack and like passes out and goes to the hospital. And then they pull us in and they non-rigged me and Hookie
Oh shit.
for like an entire quarter. And my buddy Della Puente, who was the other team leader, Hookie was our squad leader, non-rigged all of us. And then my mom died, and my PFT was all fucked up after that.
Yeah.
Plus, like, we had went to the rifle range on 29 Palms, which is like the worst rifle range you could ever go to. The flags point up in the air. The wind is so bad.
Oh shit.
So the whole company goes out there to rifle qual. About 25% of us pass. I get a marksman score, but I was one of the only ones who passed. But they sent all the other dudes back to the range over and over again and didn't report their scores. So my peers were all hooking each other up on the range.
Right.
And I had marksmanship and I was non-ranked. So the score dropped really low. They all picked up. I was still a lance corporal and my mom died. So that all happened. And then I go to Paris Island as a fucking lance corporal.
Oh. So for people who don't know what he's about to talk about, when he went to be a PMI instructor, which is basically a marksmanship instructor. So when you go to the range of boot camp or you go to the range period in the fleet, the people that work there are they're active duty Marines. It's basically like doing recruiting or drill instructor or anything. It's an instructor billet, kind of PMI, but yeah, so they're not going to scream at you. So your drill instructors don't teach you how to shoot because they're not there like knife handing you, being like, "Man, boy, you better, pull that shot up." They don't do that because you're using a live weapon. So these guys
And they want you to learn how to shoot.
yeah, yeah, because not every drill instructor knows how to shoot,
A
but
lot of them don't.
no, yeah.
So
So
I was their coach on the range.
so how was PMI? Did that kind of was that the finish of building yourself back up there?
Yeah, it was. And I don't know, man. I had a good time on the range, but after 2 years, I was done. But like, I went there as a lance, and there was, two lance corporals on the range. Everybody else was an NCO, so I was like,
Oh, yeah.
until I picked up, and then that's when I started to shine, like as a Marine. So, a lot of dudes weren't taking care of themselves. I had already learned, and like we had a lot of fat bodies, and I had like worked my way up to be a block NCO. So I started out as a range coach, just running recruits through the range. I got hooked up because we ended up on A line, which was table 2. So we had better hours than the guys on Starlight and the other like ranges where they did table 1. Because table 2 you can knock out really quick. So we would go in, we would be out there at 5, we'd be off at 1 every day, unless we had reservists coming in to do a range or something, or in the summertime where it was during the troop surge. So in the summer we had huge companies to get through. So we'd be out there from 5 a.m. till, almost dark every day in the summer.
Damn.
But it was only for a couple months.
What years was this that you were a PMI?
Was it 08 to 10?
Was
When
it?
did we go to Afghanistan? 11?
We
11,
went
12?
in 11. Yeah, 11 and 12.
Yeah, so I was there from 08, January to, or was it 09? No, it was 09.
Damn,
09
dude.
January to 2011 January.
11. So you making me feel like a boot, dude, because I was there as a recruit while you were there as a PMI. You had already
I probably trained you.
Yeah, you. Hey, look, I'm a fifth award expert, so you did something right.
We did table 2 and we did the Crucible event, the live fire Crucible event.
Oh, okay. All right. So you leave that, you go to 2-4. You get there in January of 11. So you miss part of the workup if you get there in January of 11.
Yeah. So that was the whole freaking deal too, was like, I was supposed to be a PI for 3 years. And I was like, I re-enlisted to go to Afghanistan, came to the Marine Corps to go to Afghanistan. I want to go to Afghanistan.
Right.
So I called the fucking monitor at 2 years, said, I want to go to Afghanistan. Let me get orders. And he said, okay. I said, what's the next Pendleton unit going to Afghanistan? He's like, 2-4's orders had just got changed. So he says he's sending me to Pendleton. Boom, I get orders to fucking 3-7 and 29 Palms. I call him up and I said, dude, no, I'm not going back to 29 Palms. I already did 3.5 years there. My wife is not having that shit. So he changes them back to 2-4.
Mm.
So
now, a quick question. When did you get married?
The first time?
No, I mean,
it's like 2 days after I got back from my second deployment.
Oh, okay. So you were married one time, so that obviously that didn't work out. You married the second time. Are you still married to today?
Yeah, we just had a baby 8 months ago.
Hell yeah, brother. You're in it, dude. I got kids, but they're older and they can get me beers out of the fridge. So I'll put it to you that way. They're that old.
Well, my younger ones did too, but I gave up drinking about 3 years ago. So
yeah, we'll get to that. Okay. So, all right. So you go to 2-4, you go to Pendleton. I remember you, but that we had a lot of guys there. So it's hard to remember individual people. Yeah, you go to second platoon with D-Nug. You got my boy Sust, who
Yeah.
I
You remember
swear,
Gunny Hansen?
Gunny Hansen is the only reason that I was not a line dude. I went to the armory because Gunny Hansen found me, and he was like, "Oh, another country boy," because he's from Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah, suck it,
Roll
roll
Tide.
tide. Yeah, my wife loves him.
He's a great dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
That's why I came to 2-4 because of him.
oh, really? So
Yeah.
did you know
He
him
said, come
prior?
out here. I'll get you an Echo Company. Echo Company's fucking awesome. I want you to be the section leader of machine guns.
No
Hell
shit.
yeah, I want to be a section leader.
I did
So
not know that. So where did you know Hanson from?
the range. He was my uh,
Oh,
staff NCO or range officer.
NCOIC. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, dude. I fucking love that guy. But he found me and he was like, "Oh, he's from Georgia." And Parent was fuck Kyle Parent. Well, I don't want to call him out, but they fired him from the
Yeah.
armory. And Gunny Hansen was like, "I like that guy. Put him up there." And so third platoon sergeant Ramos come to me and was like, "Hey, go see Gunny Hansen in the office." And I went up there and Gunny Hansen's like, "You're my new armory custodian." I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so you knew him. He tells you come out there, you go out there, you go
Yeah.
second platoon. How's second platoon when you get there?
So yeah, I remember checking in, you know, just came off leave and I was like, fuck. They're like, we got a hike on Friday. You got your gear? I'm like, oh, don't have gear yet. This has literally been here for 4 hours. And it was like a Thursday. All right, well, you're not going to go on this. So I keep checking in. The whole company was, on their hike or whatever. And that's when I met Moser.
Nice.
So yeah, I came back and I was like, weapons platoon was cool, but it was such a boot unit. I was like, oh my God, nobody had combat experience here.
Yeah.
This is crazy because I was used to 3-4, dude. Everybody had combat experience.
Yeah.
Like all of our leaders did. And then like I was the section leader when I came in until we got some sergeant who ended up not deploying with us. I can't remember his name. And then we got Staff Sergeant Shank.
Hell yeah.
And so then eventually, I just became a squad leader.
Right.
And he had Lieutenant Bennett. He seemed like a pretty cool guy, but he was the Naval Academy lieutenant, which all three of our lieutenants from 3-4 on our first deployment were all Naval Academy. So all four of them were actually.
No. Yeah. Dang. I didn't know Bennett wasn't.
I didn't know what they were like, but they all ended up. I mean, they were all good leaders, but they're all like very gung ho.
Yeah.
The Marine Corps.
Yeah, I didn't know Bennett was a Naval Academy guy.
Yeah, he's on the boxing team, I think.
Oh, really? Funny. Yeah. I've told a funny story. If anybody goes back and listens to the episodes, the first time I got shot at, Bennett did some funny shit. He didn't do it, but I did some dumb shit. And Bennett, like the boot lieutenant, was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh shit." But Bennett was a good dude. So, I
got to tell you about the first time I met this guy.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
He was gone at school when I checked in, so I didn't meet him right away.
Yeah.
And then we got that sergeant who was our section leader, and he was kind of like a fucking lazy piece of shit. And then he had like some knee injury or whatever, so he didn't deploy with us. But he's like, "Hey, you're going out to the field with these guys. You're the section leader for this." I'm like, "Aren't you the section leader?" So, anyways, it was me and all the boots. We went out to the field with Fox Company and just did some like little PUD ranges where they set up and shoot. And we're out there and like Fox Company's like, "Hey, we're going to order pizza. You guys want to get in on that?" And we're like, "Fuck yeah, we want to get in on that." So we all pulled whatever money we had and ordered a bunch of pizzas. Fox had a high back, so they drove up to Mainside and like picked up all this Domino's and brought it out to the range. And I was like, cool, morale boost for my guys and all that. Well, I guess the weapons company XO was pissed. So he called Captain Flynn, or he called, I don't know, what was that goofy looking dude that was our XO? I can't even remember his name.
Lieutenant Heinrich.
Yeah. Called him. Lieutenant Bennett had just came back from school. So the first time I met him was on this Mark 19 range, like the day we were coming out of the field. And those weapons company guys, thank God I showed up out there because they had every gun on the line jammed up. Didn't know how to fix it. And so I was out there fixing all this shit. And Lieutenant Bennett's like, Corporal Johnson, come here. And I'm like, who the fuck is this little tiny dude yelling? And I'm like, yes. Like, yes, sir. I'm like, sir. So I go over there and he's like, I'm Lieutenant Bennett. I'm your platoon commander. He's like, what's this shit I hear that you order fucking pizza out in the field? And he's like, whipping my ass about it. And I'm like, explain my position or whatever. He's like, well, I need you to make better decisions from now on. I'm like, got it, sir. Guess I didn't think about it that way. Still kind of came from Paris Island. I guess I'm still in a more relaxed mindset and need to kind of fix myself. So that was the first time I met him. But
Bennett was a good dude. And to be honest, like he was he was one of those that he could be a rule follower, but also I never seen him dehumanize anybody. You know what I mean? He always felt like he was a humble dude, like deep down. I actually liked him. There's a funny story, if anybody listens to part 2 of Shane Wood or part 1, I don't remember, one of those, but Shane is making fun of Lieutenant Bennett on post in Afghanistan, and Lieutenant Bennett standing behind the post and hears him. And so anyway, if you listen to that story, you'll hear the rest of how that turned out. But,
I listened to some of that, but I don't think I got to that part.
Yeah. Anyway,
review that. But.
Yeah, for the listeners, if you want to hear a good story about Lieutenant Bennett, that was pretty funny. Anyway, so we deploy in what, September? Yeah, I think it was
something
September.
Like that. Yeah. And I was with 2nd Platoon. We had the most interesting lieutenant.
Yeah.
D. Maria, which I fucking hated that dude's guts every single day until about the last 2 months of Afghanistan. Then I started to like him. But that was after he had like fired his whole platoon from patrolling or anything and sent them all back to Shergazi to stand post and just kept all the weapons guys out there for like a month straight with we did never went back to the company fob. It was just weapons and Lieutenant D. Maria out there. We didn't even have a platoon sergeant. Like I was the fucking platoon sergeant.
To be honest, I said this on another podcast for talking to Shane, I think. D. Maria, excuse me, he came off as a total douchebag. That guy was a total douche nugget. But in the end, I feel like that in the very, very end, I respected him. He had a weird way of going about and doing things, but in the end, I think he made good decisions under duress at times. But,
I think, after we screamed at each other probably about 30 times between the workup and, he started to come around a little bit, but I never once felt like he wouldn't take my opinion into consideration as being the one with the most combat experience out there, I would say.
Yeah.
So, and what I did like about him is he never tried to split up weapons or machine guns and make us operate like 0311s where, take away my guys from me and just attach them out to the squads. And then I'm just I guess I'll go on patrol with whoever because I saw so many times and I was clear with them about this since I met him. Like, I'm not giving my guys out to 11s to lead. They're my guys.
Right. Right.
They're on patrol. I'm going with them most, the majority of the time. And where they're not going to be attached out like that.
That's interesting because the other 2 platoons in the company didn't do it like that. They took the weapons guys and a squad would have like 2 machine gunners. This squad would have 2 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's interesting that you kept it like that. Do you feel like that was better for the way everything went down over there?
I do. And I think like as far as when we got into combat, it worked out better too for employment because we could operate as actual machine gunners and do, support by fire or whatever. And like I had like I was like the squad leader for all the weapons. So I think there was like 18 dudes with me on a movement.
Oh
Like
shit.
anytime we went out on platoon patrols, I had like 18 dudes with me. So we had a squad plus everywhere we went, and we had rockets, mortars, machine guns, all patrolling together. It was crazy, man.
Okay. All right. So I guess I got a couple of questions since we're already kind of in it. You get to Afghanistan. How do you feel about Afghanistan versus Iraq? You did 2 deployments to Iraq. You get to Afghanistan. Was it, I mean, what did you think? You know, me and the other podcast guests have joked that
Yeah.
it was all about Iraq, our whole workup. Everyone was like, it's going to be Mount. And then you go to Afghanistan and there's like 5 houses and a fucking open, empty desert, you know?
Well, I thought, from that perspective, I thought I had a pretty good grasp on it because we had done so many after actions with 3-5.
Right.
And, and I had just been picking brains of everybody. Plus, I read like The Bear Went Over the Mountain, The Bear Went Back Up the Mountain. I read books about Afghanistan, after actions on, Russians. I was doing a ton of like reading and research on my own too. Plus the, after actions, like I said, we did with like 3-5 when they got back from singing.
Yeah.
I had a pretty good grasp of how they were, like the enemy was operating, and I was comfortable with all that. And we had set up, our own squad SOPs for U-shaped ambushes. And I felt like we were like overly prepared when we got there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we got to Rogers, and I was like, God, this place is fucked up.
Yeah.
The unit that was there was terrible. But we got to Leatherneck, and I was like, okay, cool. This is like Al Assad. We ride the little buses around.
Yeah.
They got Wagner Loves the Cock written on every single thing. I'm like,
yes,
I'm
I've been waiting.
home.
I've been waiting for somebody. I've been waiting for a guest to bring this up. And so I'm putting a challenge out there for all 16 listeners. Somehow I got 500 downloads from podcasts, but the software tells me I only have 16 continuous listeners. So to the 16 listeners, Wagner Loves the Cock apparently goes all the way back to its early days in Iraq. And I'm sure you can attest to this, that you've seen it in Iraq. I've written. Oh, yeah. And so if anybody knows, let's start an investigation and find out where all this actually came from.
What I want to know is the first original spot I ever saw this, and it was only written at one spot on my first deployment, was in this freaking shitter in Al Assad, one of the little trailers. Yeah. I go in there to take a dump, and I see Wagner Loves the Cock written right there on the freaking door. And I'm like, who the fuck is Wagner? Probably like everybody else who did. And like thinking this freaking PFC or Lance Corporal, God, he probably has the most miserable experience. I wish we could all figure out who the original guy was. I know somebody out there within his fucking unit and could tell us the backstory.
I mean, for the next 10 years, you probably seen it everywhere. I seen it at School of Infantry. I seen it in Afghanistan. I seen it in 29 Palms. Dudes say they seen it in every base in Iraq. It's like, who is the original Wagner? And I knew a guy in the Marine Corps with the last name Wagner, and I bet he caught hell.
Yeah, I got a buddy from 3-4, and I still give him shit about it. Yeah, his name's John Wagner.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm like, you're a boot to me though, so I know you're not the original Wagner.
Yeah. So we get there. We've already talked with previous guests. If anybody is listening up to this episode, you've heard me say that when we got there, and guests have talked about that the unit that was there was not the greatest. They had some serious issues. So you get out to Rogers. I mean, what things did you see right off the bat that you were like, this is fucked up?
Well, let's rewind to my first experience.
Okay, yeah.
Because this shocked me when I got there. So we get on this bird, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna fly into some cop outside the town. We'll land inside the wire. It'll be cool.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have time to get our gear off and shit. We land outside the wire at the Hana Pass, which is in Nowzad. I get off the bird. These freaking crew members on this helo are throwing our gear off frantically. Half the shit's off before I even get over it. Tripping over sea bags. Everybody's running out, kind of like, what the fuck? Because there was no brief that we're landing at a LZ outside the wire.
No shit, really?
Yeah. So
damn.
I'm like, set up security.
Yeah.
So we start setting up
Put a gun down.
And then I start to orient a little more because I'm like disoriented getting off this bird, you know, fell asleep on the way out there, probably like everybody.
Yeah.
Wake up and we're landing. And I see fucking Marines standing outside the wire with no gear on, smoking cigarettes and no weapon. And I was like, what the fuck? And all the dudes are like, totally don't know what's going on. I'm like, chill, guys. This place is obviously, all right.
Nobody here.
There's not much going on. So we're like 500 meters from this base, and we got all this shit we got to drag up there. So we're dragging all our gear, doing the sea bag drag up into this little PB in Dahana Pass. And the PB's tiny. There's nowhere for us to sleep. I mean,
yeah.
So we're all bunched in there. Then the next day we pushed out to Rogers. And D. Maria had started his shit as soon as we got there, dude. If you're outside the tent, you got to have camis and full gear on. Full gear. Just rule after rule after rule, man, of just making everybody's fucking life miserable. And so we get there. These dudes are standing post and PT gear, taking their gear off and shit, setting horrible example for our Marines.
Oh yeah.
And eventually it got to the point where like, I know like I went and probably some of the other squad leaders, and we were like, can we just get these guys the fuck out of here? Because this is not how we want to operate.
Right. And you don't want the.
Now, mind you, for the viewers listening that don't know, this is the unit that pissed on the dead bodies and then released the video. So, so we got them out of there pretty quick. I went on one patrol with them on the little left seat, right seat, and they kind of showed us around. We stayed near the road. Told us don't go in abandoned buildings, all that shit we'd already heard. But it sounded like they had made a lot of mistakes and that they had lost quite a few guys from this platoon. So I was thinking, damn, this area is pretty legit, especially when they were talking about Salam Bazaar down the road from us.
Yeah.
But they get out of there, and then our platoon is grounded for like a month because none of their comm worked. We had no radios. We had like one radio for the whole company, or we used Merc Chat. Like we didn't even have fucking comm. We had to use Merc Chat. Compared to Iraq, there's no hookups. All they got is T-Rats. We got some MREs, hot ass water, no ACs in the tents. So every time you tried to sleep, you were just covered in flies. We had to go to freaking Nowzad for DNUG to do a meeting with the XO from Weapons Company, and I told my dudes, like, steal as much shit as you can. Well, these fucking idiots got caught by their XO.
Oh.
Yeah, but I had acquired a couple bug nets while I was there.
Hell yeah.
So gave these bug nets out to my guys, but somehow them damn flies still got in there, man.
Who are your guys? Just out of curiosity, just because I know these people.
Bradley was one of my team leaders. Dotson was one of my team leaders.
Yeah, I love
Both of them ended up getting hurt and sent home before the end of the deployment.
Yeah.
And then we had Pope, Fisher, and Hildebrand.
Oh, I love all those dudes. You had some great guys.
Yeah, and they, like 3/4 of them they sent to me because they said they were like shit bags, and the other squad leaders couldn't handle them. Like Pope had freaking gone down as a heat casualty, and he's like the most ripped dude that's there.
Yeah. And Dotson, I went on the first deployment with Dotson. I love Dotson. He was a great guy. Yeah. God,
so like Pope, when I got him, I force hydrated his ass every day. And then his dumbass, we were the only squad that didn't have any heat casualties on that range when we went to we did that live fire, and the company had to go admin pause because we had so many heat casualties.
131
casualties from us. Yep.
Yeah. God. Yeah.
I said, see, You guys all think I'm a fucking asshole, but this is why you drank 3 canteens last night.
Exactly.
So I
Course
lived in this bitch for 3.5 years. I know how to hydrate.
yeah, you're like I know this environment.
Mhm.
So I mean I don't remember. I remember some communications issues at the beginning of the deployment, but you think I would have known as the operations guy. I vaguely remember something going on with Rogers, but Rogers, I remember y'all being in engagements early on. I think second platoon was one of the
Yeah.
first. Y'all were the first firefight because I vividly remember that. I
That's when
remember.
I got my NavCom.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about that. So you get
So this is a wild story, dude. Probably one of the wildest I have. D-Nug in all of his infinite wisdom comes to me. He's like, we're going out on patrol. This is how he talked. We're going out on patrol. I need machine gunners and you. Or he said, like, I'm taking you and Bradley and the small gunners. He's like, don't bring a machine gun. You won't need it. I go, sir, I'm not going anywhere in this fucking country without a machine gun. So
that's so dumb. The machine gun. Don't bring the machine gun.
yeah.
The
He's
two
like, fine, you want to carry that for 12 clicks? You can carry it. I'm like, we will. That's our job.
Yeah.
So the route we're going on, dude, this patrol is insane. Like it's like 12 clicks.
Yeah.
The route we're going on is the area they did the battalion clearing operation in, where that little castle was, and then they
Okay.
ended up not being able to support it. And the whole damn company got grounded out there because we hit so many IEDs and they had to call battalion QRF. That's where we were patrolling at
Oh
with
shit.
8 dudes. I said, we're going down there with 8 guys. Oh yeah, it'll be fine. You don't even know shit about this area. Like, we're not even going to dip our toe in like on the outside of it and see what happens first.
Yeah. Recon by fire a little bit.
Yeah. So we're going down. The first part of the patrol is we're going to patrol down to the police station down the street. We're going to get some A&P to go with us, the Afghan National Police guys. And then we're going to punch out 5 clicks and then we're going to walk all the way back.
Right.
So we're going across the Wadi, which is not what you're supposed to be doing. So
That's right.
I'm pretty sure that was like a battalion no fire zone too, because I heard he almost got relief for this. But because he like lied about the pause reps and shit like that. And I mean, I heard a lot of rumors. I don't know if any of them are true, but so we go to the police station. You know what they say? Fuck no, we're not going down there. Refuse to go on patrol with us. All right, we're going by ourselves.
8 dudes.
Yeah, we go down there with 8 dudes. Well, this is the first patrol I've been on, so I set my gear up how I thought it would work. And I had put my radio on the side with the side pouch. The radios didn't work with a shit anyways. But it was me, Bradley, and Stewart in my element. Stewart was our forward observer.
Yeah.
So we take like a little tactical pause, or stop for security or something to call in, our pause rep or whatever. Take my pack off, set it down. We set the gun up. And then we start moving again. Well, when I throw my pack back on, I snap the fucking antenna on my radio. So now it really doesn't work very well.
Damn.
So I overly prepared, I would say, all the time. I had an extra antenna just in case that happened. So I put that one on. My radio was still dicked up, and I still didn't have any comm with anybody. And we stop again and the same damn thing happens. The strap got caught on it when I was taking it off, and I had so much weight in my pack that it caught on it and just snapped it off the base. So now I have no antennas for my radio.
Wow.
And we're starting to get down to the area. We're down by that castle. You can see it off, in the distance. And it's starting to look really sketchy, like we're about to get lit up. Like there's dudes popping out everywhere looking at us. Driving off on mini bikes and shit. And I'm like, fuck, we're going to get lit up. So we're on our way back. We're like 1 or 2 clicks from Rogers. We can see it. I'm like, thank God the end is in sight. We've been out for like 9 hours at this point. And I was carrying extra ammo and shit too, because we only had 2 machine gunners. And I thought, man, this could get hairy. We're on our way back. All of a sudden, the fucking ground starts blowing up around me, dude. And I'm like, oh shit, we're getting mortared. Well, we found out it was the AGS 17, which is the Mark 19 version for the Russians.
Right.
They were lighting us up with an automatic grenade machine gun. There's fucking, the ground's blowing up all around us, dude. I was like, never seen any shit like this in my life. You know, I'd been in plenty of mortar strikes. There's one, but they never like fired for effect. And I was like, what do they have? Like 6 fucking mortars over there?
Right.
You know, I thought they were just like firing for effect, dropping them on us, and it was accurate. I mean, so I immediately told my guys, uh, displace 200 meters so we could get out of the kill zone. So we got
Right.
up and displaced 200 meters, regrouped ourselves. While we're running back, Stewie takes like a fucking direct hit, man. I thought he was dead. And then I just see this dude, and you know, they always say it's like slow motion,
Yeah.
you know, in combat. It was like slow motion movies, like comes running out from the dust, and I'm like, Stewie!
Yeah.
And he's all like holding his head and shit, like disoriented. I'm like, keep running, dude, get back here. So I said, you know, I run over to him, they start opening up with machine guns and the AGS 17. So
Yeah.
now we got accurate rounds on us. And we got this AGS 17. I tell Stewie, I'm like, dude, just post rear security and
Get us some
don't
air.
fucking die. We got to go deal with this. Bradley's just laying down over there, never been in contact, scared shitless. So I, you know, start bounding back, doing I'm up. He sees me, I'm down.
Nice.
And finally get up to him. And I'm like, dude, we got to move forward and we got to get rounds on target. The other elements over there hiding in a fucking ditch.
Yeah, I was going to ask,
like,
what's the
I have
terrain?
no problem with them.
What's the terrain look like right here where you guys are at? Is it flat with some ditches, essentially?
Like out to our 3 o'clock, we have a big mountain range.
Okay.
Which is, you know, several clicks away.
Right.
Then in front of us, we have a bunch of compounds that are about 900 meters.
Okay.
And then that's at like our 12. And then if you go over to like your 9 o'clock, about 1,000 meters away from us was the other element. And I don't know if they were pinned down or what, but they weren't moving or anything. So I'm like, Bradley, we're going to fucking die, dude. We got to do something. I'm like, get your ass up. We're going to go freaking attack this damn thing. Just me and him. So I'm like, remember what I told you before we deployed? It's I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. Don't think that's bullshit. You have to do it or you're going to get shot. And
right.
So he gets up, or I get up first. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. He's still laying there. I'm like, Bradley, get your fucking ass up. He won't get up. So I run back there. I start screaming at him, standing up, and pull his ass up. And as soon as I do, this fucking round ricochets off his helmet, dude. It was crazy. I was like, oh my God, you're still alive.
Holy shit. Oh God. Dude, I'm like that whole freezing combat, you know, thing is like the thing everybody's scared of. You know, it's like you don't want to get to that point where you're just so overwhelmed by everything that's happening that you're just it's a stalemate. You know, you're conscious. It happened to me during a mortar strike one time, and I was just like standing there like the next one's coming, and it was Flynn who grabbed me and was like, come on, motherfucker, you know. But it's sometimes, man, and you know, Bradley, it may have had that, but sometimes it only happens once, and then after that you're an animal. But
yeah, Bradley's an animal, and we've talked about this in person. I mean, about it afterwards. I mean, we talked about his first time, and he was probably just fucking overwhelmed. I mean, and I remember the first time that IED struck, I was so fucking scared I could barely move, dude. But you know, at this point, this is what I'm talking about, like the desensitization over time. And like, I don't know, I feel like once, at least for me, when I became an NCO and I became like a leader of Marines, I was like, I have a legacy to uphold to all the guys that came before me that we're not going to be bitches. We're going to not balance of action, you know?
Right.
So, well, we get Bradley up after he gets his freaking head almost blown off. We run, get the gun up. I'm like, it's coming from that fucking compound tree line right there. I see the dust. We just start lighting this bitch up, man. And then put some rounds on target. I'm like, get the gun. We're going forward. So we just start buddy rushing towards this shit. And then This week we'd been getting lit up for probably, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes at this point. I'm like, where is our QRF? So sus comes rolling out. I see the vehicles on the road. Apparently he didn't see that we were 2 clicks away from him, fucked up the grid coordinate and went totally away from us. So we're still getting lit up, no QRF. Finally, I'd say me and Bradley bounded within, we'd probably gone 2 football fields at this point. We were within 400 meters.
Wow.
Closing with them. And we're just lighting this fucking compound up with the 240. And then all of a sudden, all the fire stops. And off in the distance, I see some fucking Apache helicopters come rolling in. And I'm like, hell yeah, they're going to light this bitch up.
For the win, baby.
They just freaking fly around. I'm like, what?
I blame it on Stewie.
The whole time he didn't have a radio either. His didn't work either. I didn't have any comm with Lieutenant Di Maria and freaking Cozy or the other dudes that were over there in the other element. They didn't move the entire time.
Man.
Yeah.
So what do you do? You get within the compound. What happens next?
I don't know where. I don't know if they were fucking dead in there or they jumped on a bike and left. I didn't see anybody egress. We were looking for them.
Damn.
And like the helos never. I asked afterwards, did the helos say if they saw anybody leave or anything? I don't know what happened, dude.
They just evaporated.
The firing just stopped. I mean, everything stopped. I assume at least a couple of them were alive because that AGS-17 kept showing up everywhere. Mm-hmm. We got lit up at Shergazi like a month later with it after we closed Rogers. Yeah. And then India Company got lit up by it, and I heard that they blew it up with an airstrike and then put their guide on in the barrel of it outside.
Hell yeah, that's pretty tight. I mean, so, man, that's a crazy story. God, I don't even know how to follow that, That's just insane. So does contact stay pretty steady out there at Rogers? You said we closed that. When did we close that position? How long did we keep it for?
I think we were there another couple weeks. Yeah. But after that, from what I was told, is our platoon was not allowed to go on patrol.
Okay, so
because it was so fucked up.
Now you mentioned that fuck up. I remember very vividly the very first firefight because I was in the COC on Radio Watch and we had the huge map, and I remember Di Maria talking to Flynn standing there talking to him. I remember just shit being fucked up, but I don't remember specifically why. And you've kind of added a little bit more. I do remember something about Flynn saying like, where are they? Like we couldn't, there was some miscommunication as to where exactly you guys were at. And that may have been honestly why the helicopters did not engage, even if they seen anything, because they may have just been doing a show of force. Because, excuse me, if Stewie couldn't have talked to, who was it? Lieutenant, the most awesome guy ever, the head of the FIST team.
Oh, yeah. Man, I was friends with him on Facebook.
No, I am. I talked to him. He's a major now. Yeah, anyway, if he can't talk to him, they can't coordinate the air. And if they can't coordinate the air, then you guys, Flynn wasn't going to authorize any strikes when you don't know exactly where all you fucking people are.
Yeah, and Stewie didn't have comm either. So, plus he was concussed. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. So y'all shut down Rogers. Where do you come back? So you guys come back to Shergazi, the main COC, the main position, which for people out there, when I say main position, I mean, you're still shitting in a bag, pissing in piss tubes. You're still eating basically MREs, and all we had was tanks and an LZ.
So that was one of the other things I wanted to tell you about the difference between Iraq and Afghanistan was like, you could always get like good chow, cold drinks, shit like that in Iraq. Like, most everything had AC in it. If you had a good company gunny, which we did, Company Buenatello, who actually rest in peace, he died saving 2 kids drowning in Texas. You should look the story up. But I mean, everywhere we went, he had it hooked up. So I told I don't know what, Staff Sergeant Maxwell in one of our team leader meetings, I go, like, this is bullshit. Like, we don't have any fucking drinks, no Gatorades,
Yeah.
nothing like for these dudes in morale out here. I
Right.
said, you got like, we got to get something. Like, can we not get some like meat out here? Like when you guys go do these log runs, and he hooked it up after that. So he came back with all these drinks, and then like we separate them. I mean, there wasn't that much. So everybody would get like 2 Gatorade protein shakes, 2
Yeah.
Gatorade. And I'd be like, this is all you get until, the next log run. But then, they sent us a couple boxes of steak. So I hooked up took some bolt cutters and made a little Hesco grill out of it, and experimented with cooking with wood and burned the shit out of them and ate them. But
Oh yeah. I mean, that was the thing is like we didn't we didn't have AC in them tents in the summertime. We had torpedo heaters, but half of them didn't work. I remember our tents didn't work for a while, and I fixed it. And then when I fixed it, everybody was like, "He knows how to fix them." And then then I started trading shit. But speaking of getting shit, like yeah, we didn't have a lot of shit. Like when we went on a run to the battalion position one time, me and who was it? Who was the crazy fucking small gunner? It's Griswold. Me and Griswold. Fucking love him. Shout
I
out,
was talking
dude.
to him not too long ago.
Yeah, I talked to him about 6 months ago, but we stole a whole pallet of Dr. Pepper from the main position. It was me and who was the other weapons company staff sergeant? Staff sergeant. I just talked to him like 3 weeks ago.
Weapons company? Shank?
Yeah, no, not
Maxwell. Or no, not Maxwell. West?
West. West was my vehicle commander, and that dude could change. We would turn off the halon system in the MRAP so we could smoke in them. That dude could, and so, but my truck was the truck that the CO rode in. So he would, before an operation, he'd unplug the halon system and he would power smoke a Marlboro Light in like 90 seconds. And then he'd put it out and the CO get in the truck and be like, "Who the fuck's smoking in here?" And we'd be like, "We don't know. It was just like this when we got in here."
You know how that cigarette smoke lingers.
Yeah. It was fucking crazy. So anyway, yeah, I'll come back to the main position. What do you kind of do after that?
So I think we got pulled up there to, add ass to the fight that was coming.
Yeah.
We went on a few night patrols, heading down that road to Jalalabad and a couple other things. And then we sat on the picket line a little bit. And
Yeah.
I ripped Knight's ass because he didn't shoot the saber at the fucking IED emplacer we saw. He was he's like, "Oh, no, I'm going to get NJP'd if I shoot that." I go, "I'll take the hit for it. They gave me the weapon system. We need to use it."
Yeah, no shit. Wow.
So, but anyways, that was kind of funny, but I don't remember the whole story behind that, but I remember I was real pissed off about it. But so then like after we kind of settled in there and did some, learned the area a little bit and did a few bullshit patrols that in our security bubble, so to say, which was like, I don't know, half a click outside the wire.
Yeah.
We started doing the patrols to kind of test the enemy's strength.
Right.
I think we were like the first ones who got into a firefight down there. So we pushed down towards Ugly Hill. We were pretty close to it. I don't know, probably 500 meters away. We start getting lit up in this field, and it's coming from Ugly Hill. So we think we pinpoint where it's at. And it was awesome, dude. Like, DNUG orders a rocket strike on this building. And I'm like, "Sir, we have to suppress for him. He's not going to be able to set up. He's going to get shot."
Right.
And he's like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "Fuck that. I'm taking this gun team and we're suppressing that target." So we get up there, and I think it was Pope that was with me. That was his first time getting to shoot in combat. So I'm like, start out, open up cyclic, and then go down to 2 seconds.
Right.
So we're just lighting this fucking building up, man. And then, God, I don't remember if it was Andrews, Knight, or Bell. One of them shot the rocket and hit that building. And
they hit it? They hit it dead on?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And then it went silent, and all of us, like, I jumped up and I was like, "Fuck yeah, motherfucker rocket." And everybody was cheering and going crazy. And D-Nug lost his mind.
Oh.
He was ripping my ass one way up and down the other, you know, talking about combat mindset and all that. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So you can't shoot a rocket and not expect me to get excited about it.
Hell yeah.
So then we think, all right, well, we got them.
Yeah.
And we start continuing on our patrol. We're not going up on that mountain yet because there's probably IEDs all over it.
Yeah.
See if we killed anybody. But so we're walking, back in the field. We start getting lit up again from another position. And at this point, we'd already been out for like probably 6 hours. And I don't know who made the call, but they were like, just fucking egress back to the base because I think we accomplished what they wanted to. If we go this far, we are going to get lit up.
Right. Yeah.
So the whole way back, we're getting shot at. We're just patrolling back, getting shot at everywhere. No idea where it's coming from. There's fucking rounds popping off all over the place, all the way back till we get up to that main road that runs to Musa Kala, and then we take that back.
Right. Through the bazaar.
Yeah. Through the bazaar. Back to base.
Yeah. So I mean, so you think that was a bad call? Y'all think you should have attacked. You should have went for it.
What, in that instance?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was a good call because
okay.
We were within rocket range and we had the munitions for that type of target
right
with us, and there was a wadi in between us, and we would have been attacking uphill. So, there's and we didn't know how bad the IEDs were there. From everything we heard, the whole fucking mountain was rigged.
Oh yeah, and it was.
Yeah, and I thought when we got up there, and that on Operation Thriller or whatever it was called, Southern Gambit, they changed it.
Yeah,
supposed to be Operation Thriller because it was on Halloween.
Oh,
and they changed it to Southern Gambit.
Oh, gay.
Yeah, that freaking our EOD tech stepped on that IED right away, man. And I was and this whole fucking mountain's rigged. You're gonna blow it up, and we're all gonna die,
dude. He stepped on like a third or fourth IED. He had already found one or two. But I specifically remember that event because he was the first guy to step on an IED. And I remember going, oh, shit, we are in it now. And then not long after that, he stepped on that IED, double amputee. And so.
What was that place called? Was it Caraway or something down there?
I think Caraway, yeah. Hoover got, if you know who Hoover is, he got I think he got a NAM with a V for that.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. No, he ain't dead.
I thought Hoover was the police officer. Who was the police officer?
No. Hoover was one of our guys. He was, he ended up getting out of 2-4 and then being a PMI for a long time. He was in.
Who am I thinking of that died? It was a police officer. Him and his dog when he sent him in.
Oh, dude, I don't know. That's interesting. Okay. Well, so second platoon y'all end up going south. Y'all end up doing a lot down there. So what happens first? Does Sus get blown up in that truck first, hit that IED, or does Moser step on that IED first?
Sus first, then Moser, because Moser was in both of those. But that happened a little bit after. That was in the phase where we were just walking around in circles all day, getting shot at. So, yeah, we pushed down to Caraway and... man, I think it was, before that, I remember another firefight. Yeah, I was talking to Knight about this on Facebook we were like up on the tip of Ugly Hill overlooking the valley in an overwatch position for like 48 hours in that fighting hole.
Yeah.
And then they pulled us off of it after they got the patrol base built on top of Ugly Hill. And then I thought we were like going to get some sleep and get some food. And he's like, you're going out on patrol. So we just we don't even take our gear off. We just walk out the fucking front.
So what grade?
Pre-combat checks and go.
What grade would you give D-Nug on troop welfare?
Shit, at that point it was a F-. And it got worse too. I mean, so we walk straight out. We get about, I don't know. You go down that little road at the base of the hill, and then there's that. Is it Jews Gray? That's right there?
Jews Gray.
We're like right outside Jews Gray and just start getting lit up by fucking red tracer rounds. And I'm like, is that friendly fire?
Yeah.
because they use green tracer rounds.
Right.
No, dude, we came to the determination that this was a fucking saw. Sounded like a
Damn.
saw. So we're getting lit up by a saw. Finally, I see the dude up on the hillside. Tell him freaking open up. After a while, we got that under control. I would think I was with Cozy Squad on that one. And then somehow they find a fucking, I think they found a wire to an IED. So then we're sitting on an IED cordon.
Right.
So we sat out there all night on that IED cordon until I don't know what EOD was doing, but they weren't out there with us. They came out, blew up the IED first thing in the morning, pick up, head back to the base. Soon as we're walking back in, Crandall's pushing out. Got our gear off for about 5 minutes. We're about to just fall over, dead tired. Crandall starts getting lit up. Then D-Nug's on the radio with me. He's like, Corporal Johnson, get your shit. You're going out on QRF. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Holy shit.
I said, you can't send one of the 11 squads? We need machine guns out there now. So we push out there. And that ended up being like a 12-hour fucking deal.
Oh,
and I think maybe this was after Caraway. I don't know. Because we had patrolled from Ugly Hill all the way down to Caraway, over to the village that was like, Caraway's down here. There's some village over here. We'd walked over there, been getting shot at, just trying to find these dudes all day. They're just bouncing all over this little valley shooting at us. So then we're like walking back to Caraway, and this villager comes up to us and he's like, the Taliban's up there. They're about to ambush you. So I'm like, well, maybe we should go a different way then.
Right.
D-Nug's like, we're about to get ambushed. Push ahead.
Oh, my
So we go straight into this fucking ambush, dude, and just start getting lit up again. They're up on the freaking mountain over there just shooting a bunch of machine guns at us. So we push into the village, got some cover, and like, dude, I was about to fall over. I was so tired. So we post up security in this freaking alleyway, and everybody's just sitting there like this. Somebody's got a picture of it somewhere of everybody. Like, you could just see it on everybody's face.
Yeah.
By this time, I'd been up for probably 2 or 3 days straight, and we weren't going back to Ugly Hill. We were going to sleep in the field that night. So by the time the trucks got out there, we'd walked down to the Wadi, got all of our gear, drug it up the freaking hill, set up in this field. We may have got like 2 hours of sleep before we packed it back up, put it back on the trucks. And then the next day we were getting shot at the whole day over it. And this went on for probably 3 weeks, man.
Y'all were just in it, dude. Y'all were in it.
I counted 31 days straight. We were in continuous contact for at least 8 hours a day.
Hey, if anybody, well, if you find that picture, if you can get it, send it to me. I'll make it the episode artwork for this episode. I'll put it on the if whoever has it wants.
I think Bradley might have it. I might have it. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So you do that for a couple weeks. Eventually, you guys do move down south. Is there anything significant that happens between then and when you guys go kind of down there towards? I don't remember what that was.
Mishmash, Potato, Carez, or
yeah,
talking about Double Check.
Yeah, I think Double Check. Yeah.
So I mean, we got like Graves. I was listening to his episode. They were down there to test the enemy strength.
Yeah.
Basically, before we did that operation. So that happened on New Year's Eve, I think.
Yeah, sometime around.
We always did it on a holiday. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like Iraq too. We always went on a holiday.
I don't understand that.
So, yeah, I think it was the day after Christmas we pushed down there because we had Christmas Day off, and then then that night we got on the helos. But that was awesome, dude. I remember thinking, like, on the bird ride out there, like, damn, this is like what I've been waiting for.
Main character syndrome, just like Graves says. Main character syndrome, baby.
Yeah, and we were all split up, on different sticks in case the helos went down and all this shit. And I was like, how are we all going to link up in the middle of the night at this field?
Yeah.
Because when we dropped in, I think you guys got trucked out, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I told my dudes, they said, don't take any warming layers. Don't wear any warming layers. The trucks will be there by the morning. I told my dudes, take everything you can fucking pack. The trucks are not going to get there. They're going to get blown up. or they're going to get stuck. You're not going to have any warming layers for at least a week. Be
Hell
prepared to
yeah.
go a week without chow and warming layers.
You are an incredible NCO. That's all I
Okay.
got to say.
So we all had that big ass coat. I
Oh,
said,
I
if
love
you
that
don't
coat.
take anything, take the coat
Yeah,
because it will keep you warm at night.
right.
Or, I mean, somewhat warm. I mean, you were still cold, but so we all had those. And then, anyways, we landed in the middle of the night out in some random ass field. And we're all walking around trying to find each other in the dark. It was crazy, man. And somehow, some way, we all linked up, which my dudes didn't know how to land nav worth a shit. So I don't know how the hell we all found each other. And then,
Was there no link up plan? Like, hey, two.
yeah, we had a point, but it was the middle of the night, and we had those little wrist GPSs.
Oh yeah.
But everybody didn't have one. So I was
Right.
basically looking for other leaders. Okay, I know he's with, Crandall squad or whatever. I got to find Crandall, get this guy. So I walked around with everybody and got everybody I could find, went to the link up point, and if we were missing anybody, we met up there. I think we were with like second platoon, or we had to link up with one of the rifle platoons there. So, and then we started clearing buildings after that. And then they started building that first PB, and
Yeah.
we stopped in a compound because the idea was we'll sit in the compounds during the day and then go out at night when they can't see us to clear all of our objectives. Well, they knew what compound we were in because we started getting shot at all day out of it. So.
Right. Yeah, I was actually there when they were building that compound. There's actually a funny story with I think with Shane, maybe I don't remember. I told it on another one where there was a ESB guy that was running a bulldozer, and we were building that PB down there, and he got out of the bulldozer and was shooting at a dude that was like 1,000 yards away that he couldn't even see. And I'm like, that motherfucker's getting that combat action ribbon. Like, he was.
This is his first time out of Musakela.
Yeah, yeah, he was gonna get that bitch. But yeah, so you guys go down there. We do Operation Double Check. Now y'all are running the south. I think that's with the south side of the AO, right?
Yeah, they left second platoon there.
Yeah.
We took everybody back to the company, and we had all three at first, and then we turned the farthest north one over to the A&A.
Right.
Because I mean there was nothing going on there. That one was really close to that other patrol base by Musakela. So, but we found a shit ton of IEDs on the road.
Yeah.
But I remember the first days of the clearing operation, we were like out clearing stuff for like 2 days, and then finally they got that PB3 built down south, and we went into that. And again, think we're going to get to rest finally. And before we can take our gear off, Corporal John said, "Get your shit. You're going up to the PB2 with Cozy Squad." So we're walking out of this thing, going up to PB2, which hadn't been built yet. We were going to secure the site. Recoilless rifle rounds start coming in out in the field. Fucking things are landing right by us out in the field. So we displace back to the base. All the gun trucks are set up out there, and none of them are shooting anything. So me and I think, it was Pope or Bradley, one of them. We go up right next to this gun truck, and I'm like, it's in that fucking tree line. Start shooting.
Yeah.
So he starts opening up on the tree line. And then Captain Flynn is ripping my ass, telling me I don't have fucking PID and I'm going to get NJP'd and blah, 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 blah. And then D-Nug's ripping my ass about it after that. And then I was like, yeah, whatever. We're in the middle of a fucking operation. That ain't going to happen. So what do you know? They need me to go on this mission. So that all gets dropped.
It's funny. The guy that goes into combat and the guy that's violence of action, it's like that. It's like that. Do not break this in case of war, dude, because you're like, he's a shitty person, but he's great in combat. It's like just point towards the enemy, and nobody likes that guy when shit's not hot. But when shit starts getting hot, you're like, hey, where's that motherfucker at? Like, let's get him and send him back out there. It sounds like you were that guy.
But it sucked because I had to split the squad up. So half of the weapons guys went up to 2, which I believed was going to be the hotter one.
Yeah.
And I left Bradley back to run that team with the lieutenant. And my thinking was, okay, he'll be with the lieutenant. And I talked to the lieutenant, like, you better take care of this dude. Well, we get up there, get the post built, and then like 2 days later, Lieutenant goes out with them and Wiseman, and fucking Bradley gets shot. And it was like the same thing happened again because like the two patrols I didn't go out with them, like Dotson and Moser got hit, and then Bradley got hit. So it was like I was in my head about that. But
Yeah.
the other, and then at the same time, I was like talking to myself, like, dude, there's nothing you can do about it. We got to just operate with what we got now. Thank God they're both alive.
Right.
So, yeah, that happened, and then it was really hot up at PB2 too. So every time we went out, we were getting lit up. And then we had this it was actually a freaking great plan. I loved it. We were sending out a squad. Cozy squad goes out, starts patrolling in the area. But before morning had come, we had staged the whole platoon in PB2. So as soon as they got lit up, we were going to sprint out of the patrol base, run out and see if we could like L-shape them.
Oh,
and
nice.
cut off their egress route.
Yeah.
Well, we did.
Oh.
So we ran like 2 freaking clicks with all our
shit.
And I see these dudes on the rooftop shooting at Cozy. So we bust up into this compound and put Pope up on the roof. And I'm standing off to him, like looking over this wall on some shit. And he's just fucking laying it down on this rooftop over there.
Nice.
And, I don't know where the hell the dudes went. I didn't see, we went to the compound we thought it was, didn't see any blood. I mean, it looked really like scattered, like people had been running around in there, but didn't find anybody, unfortunately. So then, a couple days later, we went back out to that same area out. It's like basically in between Shergazi and PB2, like in the middle of no man's land. There's a mountain range in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And we secured all these compounds in like a triangle and exposed ourselves intentionally so they would start shooting at us. And we got into a big ass firefight out there, and Swafford went out with his team, and the fire was so much that they pushed back into the compound.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And then that happened basically, and then we egressed that night, and some villager came up the next day and was like, hey man, there's all these IEDs over here, can you take care of them? So we went back out to that same area. It was like on the fucking roads that, like, I don't know how we didn't step on them, man. On the way back, we just had to have walked over them.
Man, they may have planted them after you guys left.
Those fuckers, no, I think they went in there. They knew what compounds we were in and put those IEDs in, so we'd hit them on our way back, and we somehow missed them. But,
wow, that's lucky. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I remember we had another night patrol there. We went out at night. That was in the early days, I think. That was after that one, because we went back down to 3. Then we went out on a night patrol one of those nights. Patrolled till dawn. We were on our way back, been out all night, started getting shot at from some compounds. And this is when I really learned that, like, the Afghan men are real pieces of shit. Because I remember I was walking and I saw all of them sitting out there smoking hashish. The women had like all this crap on their back, and they looked like they were dying, just dragging this stuff into the compound. And they're just all sitting there, having tea and watching the women work. We start getting lit up, and they sit there and watch for entertainment. And I see this dirt busting up by this compound, and we just freaking dumped it on that thing, man. And that's another one. I don't know if we got him or not, but
yeah.
I was glad we didn't go look, because I was ready to go back.
Yeah. All right, we got to finish up Afghanistan. So, all right, so just out of curiosity, I know you said it was later. Were you with SUST when that IED happened?
I forgot we didn't talk about that. Yeah. So, that squad, I think they got sent back they got sent back to do our logistics, to bring our packs out and resupply us. And we had gone down the wadi the night before, but there was only 2 ways to get the stuff down there. So everybody knew it's only a matter of time before we start hitting IEDs.
Yeah.
And this was around the same area that Maxwell got hit when we did the initial push down there. but it was up on the ridge line more. So Sus took the trucks up there on the ridge line, and they hit that IED when they were coming to resupply us.
Right.
And then Moser was on that one too, and he was like got a bad concussion from it, and he had been on like light duty for like a week, and then if I remember correctly, like the day he got put back with us, they pushed him out on patrol, and that's when him and Dotson got hit.
Damn. Dude. Yeah, so Dotson was involved in the IED that Moser stepped on?
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Well, for those of you who don't know, Moser is one of our double amputees. You stepped on an IED. Yeah, so Dotson got sent home from that too.
Yep.
Man, so you lost Dotson, you lost Bradley. What was it, Pope? That one of the somebody, and I talked to what's his name about this, but he said he didn't remember. Somebody got hit with a piece of shrapnel in the face, and I think it was a machine gunner. And he had
Dotson, that's what happened to him. He had all those shrapnel wounds in his face.
but that was like a peppering somebody, and I think it was Hildebrand. It was one of the Indian dudes, and I don't mean Dothead. I mean feather Indians, like one of the Native American guys. It was one of them, but I don't remember who it was. And
I don't know, man. There were so many close calls.
Yeah.
There was also, before we did double check, I think it was on after Graves, they did like test the enemy strength part 2 down there.
Yeah.
And that there was a machine gun team that started lighting up Pope's vehicle, and he freaking smoked them. And they had an RPG too.
Nice.
And he smoked them with the 50 cal. And then we heard it on the freaking ICOMs that like 2 of their commanders got killed. So I always hoped, and this is what I tell myself in my head, that one of those dudes was the one that shot Graves.
Yeah.
Because it was like literally right across from where he got shot.
Man. It's crazy how that works. You know, it's funny because my last podcast with that dude from Recon, he said that he's pretty sure, and he said that we talked about it, that when they cleared Sangin, because his second deployment to Sangin, he said Sangin, there was nothing there. They had basically, he said they had not peaceful, but they had pushed everybody up. He said, but if you look at a map where you guys were in Shergazi and up to Nalzad, that was the northern edge. So they pushed all the enemy up to us. And that's why 2 deployments later, we were up there. We were fighting the same guys that they pushed out of Sangin, just in a different environment.
And we had linked the AO all the way to Sangin when I remember I thought this was about to be the fight of our life, because we were going down where Bradley had got hit, and we were going to go build another patrol base on top of that mountain down there. That was another one I didn't even cover with you when we got in the U-shaped ambush down south there where Bradley had got shot. We went down there to go cordon off a 80-pound pressure plate, and it just turned into a huge firefight. And we had some dudes up on the mountaintop just bouncing around, shooting at us and all over. And Stewie, originally Lieutenant talked to me about taking the Doom gun out. And I was like, well, do I have to take my rifle, or can I just have the Doom gun and the pistol and carry extra grenades? And he was like, no, you still got to take your rifle. I was like, fuck that. I don't want to. I already got enough stuff to carry.
Now, what is the Doom gun for people who don't know?
The 6-pack grenade launcher.
Yeah, baby.
So you can shoot 6 grenades semi-automatic.
Yeah.
Well, Stewie'd been carrying this Doom gun around for weeks and hadn't got to use it yet. So this happens, and I'm like, dude, Stewie, use that like a mortar, dude, and put some rounds up there on that mountain range or something. And then Lieutenant's like, give me that fucking Doom gun. And he's like, just looking wild with it, man. Totally inaccurate fire and short. And all over the place. And then did it again, and Stewie, all he had was a pistol the rest of the patrol.
Oh. Well, he was the forward observer. So, we got to finish up Afghanistan. So, but one last thing I want to know about this deployment is, what was the turning point where you said, D-Nug and you obviously butted heads, you and the lieutenant. What was the point where, was there a single turning point, or was it multiple points where you were just like, okay, you know what, this guy's, he's okay,
Well, I remember I was about at my wit's end with him because we found this IED, and he was like, go set your machine gun up right there. And I go, I'm not setting the machine gun up right there. There's red painted rocks everywhere. And there's probably a fucking IED there. And me
Yeah.
and him got into a screaming match about it. And he was like threatening to NJP me. I go, I don't give a fuck if you NJP me. I'm not putting my gun there. I was like, I'd rather go to the fucking brig than get somebody killed out here.
Yeah.
So we set up somewhere else where I wanted to put it. And EOD came out, found that one in a secondary IED right where he wanted to put us. So after that, I was like, fuck this guy. I'm doing whatever I want from now on. I don't give a shit about the consequences. And then I don't know if he got into it with the other squad leaders or whatever, but he like didn't trust them anymore. So he sent them all back to Shergazi to stand post, and he kept weapons out there. And then when all them got away from him and it was just us, that's when he got like super cool and we got to know him and we would like laugh all the time and morale was probably the best it had been, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I just talked to him for the first time in a couple of years the other day. So he's got a few kids now and
Good for him.
yeah, that was that. I think that was our last fight. And then he started warming up.
Yeah.
I started warming up to him, you know, after that. So
yeah, I remember I remember from the beginning of the deployment to the end of the deployment, he was a different guy. You know, there was something different, and he was so much cooler after the deployment. Okay, so we come back from Afghanistan. How much longer do you stay in after that?
like in the Marine Corps?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to reenlist and go to SOI, and I denied orders. And then, like, first sergeant flipped out on me and told me I was like ruining my life and all this stuff, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I heard that they were going to non-rake me for it, but anyways, it wasn't too long after that they ended up kicking me out to regiment, and I got fapped out to the ISMIT. So I was just big chilling pretty much until I got out in November. Because when I decided I didn't want to re-enlist anymore, I put in that vert package and ended up getting out like 6 months early.
Okay, so when you get out, what do you do when you get out? Do you go to college or you get a job?
Well, I went to work for a dude I worked for in high school, and I was a sales manager. And then at the same time, I was going to college and got my bachelor's degree. And then went into mortgage for a while and did that until Biden inflation happened and it like destroyed the whole industry and I got laid off. I am a retail manager at a store, operations manager. Yeah.
Nice. So how did you deal? So two deployments in Iraq. I know one you said was more uneventful. Deployment in Afghanistan, you get out. And I say this all the time, is we don't realize how much PTSD we have until we lead the boys. It's one thing to be in the Marine Corps and have done combat. It's another to like when you finally separate and you go back and it's just you. You know, it's not you and the boys. It's just you.
Yeah.
You know, how did that go for you?
Yeah. Well, I remember when I came back from Afghanistan, there was a point where I was like, dude, I can't not drink. Like, I can never stop drinking.
Yeah.
And like believe that. And, you know, turned into a pretty big alcoholic for probably 10 years. And, you know, I had done a lot of stupid things and a couple divorces and then was on the verge of a third one. And I was like, I got to do something different. So one day I just quit and that helped me a lot, but it was a long road to get there. I had gone to like the VA for help and they have like a one size fits all PTSD program where they have you like writing a little workbook and they're like, well, what was your one traumatic experience that happened? And I go, lady, I've got like thousands of experiences. I don't know. This is not working for me. So I just quit going. And then, you know, I was still struggling for years after that. And I One of my good friends, his sister is a psychologist, and she does a lot of PTSD. And she had another psychologist that she worked with, and he wrote this book. Might have it over here. It's about PTSD, and he did these classes like once a week to like learn about it and how to deal with it. And so I would go see him, and then I would go to the classes on Thursday night, and had like cut back my drinking and stuff. And then COVID happened, and like I feel like I just like spiraled big time because the isolation and I got really bad drinking, and then came home, or not came home, I was at home. And then I thought my wife at the time was like taking the kids over to her mom's house because she had kids too. And we were going to like hang out that night and have like a kid free night. And she's like, I want a divorce.
Oh, shit.
So, or she's like, I'm divorcing you, basically. So, like in the middle of COVID, I got kicked out of my house, got served. Like I went to my buddy's house that night and stayed over there. And then that Monday I got served and she wasn't there. So I had to go like find a place to live during COVID. And that was really hard because nobody was like seeing anybody, but I ended up finding this duplex. And then, I was like partying my ass off, drinking every night, during COVID, and probably not being the best father and all that. And then eventually I got tired of that. So I just started drinking at the house. Then, and then I got into a fight with one of my buddies and tore my ACL. So he like pushed me down the stairs. And at that point, I was like, God, what the fuck am I doing? So I quit drinking for a month then. And then, you start back up again.
Yeah.
And then I continued on that cycle for a while, and then met my current wife, and we both drank. So we were fighting all the time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And we separated for, I think it was 6 months we separated.
Wow.
We were still seeing each other all the time, though. Like it was super unhealthy for both of us. And
yeah,
I had filed for divorce, and, thank God for her because she fought for us and wanted to stay together. And
hell yeah.
So I entertained that, and we try to get back together, and then we would drink, and then we would fight and split up. And so,
yeah.
Basically, New Year's Eve came around. She was living out of the house. I was at the house by myself. My kids were with their mom, and got drunk and all depressed, and
oh yeah,
was still thinking real hard about it for a couple of days. Like, why the hell do I keep doing this to myself? And then January 3rd, I said, fuck this. I'm going to AA. And went to a meeting that day, and I quit. And, one day turned into two, and the coming off the alcohol addiction, man, was like freaking hard, man. My sleep was already jacked up, filled with like nightmares, and I'd wake up constantly. And, so I wasn't sleeping very much for a few days. And, I got through that first 2 weeks, and then I was like, all right, I'm starting to get better. I could tell my face was looking better, like color wise, and I felt better. And, after feeling just like hungover for a week,
yeah.
I mean, the worst thing, like I've been hungover every day for like 10 years, but
yeah.
And so, I quit. I went to AA for about 30 days, and then I felt like I was okay after that. And I quit going to AA, and I just haven't drank. So
congratulations, dude. That is, I'm telling you, it's a big deal. And that's why I tell people, that's why I take, and I've said it almost in every episode, I take 3 months off a year. I started doing that because my wife is the one that fought for us. And I wholeheartedly agree that my wife basically came to me and she was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know what's wrong with you, but you need to, you need to put yourself together. And that sometimes it just takes someone else to snap us out of it. Sometimes we realize it, but you sounded like you were headed towards rock bottom. You might not have made it
Yeah.
all the way there,
No,
but
I think I was there. I had like fucked up every relationship in my life, like cussed my dad out and told him what a horrible person he was. And, I went to my sister and, because you get drunk and you put these things in your head and you act like an idiot and you drag other people down with you.
yeah,
And so, like, one of the big things in AA, like, I didn't end up working all the 12 steps, but like, I try to repair, relationships based on that. So I, apologized to everybody. And I didn't do it right away with my family. It was actually like around Father's Day.
yeah,
I reached out to my sister first and, told her what I was doing with my life now and, how I was sorry. And then I said, I hope we can all get together on Father's Day. I'm going to apologize to Dad too. They all forgave me, which was great. And, um, but the other thing was like getting my medication right. Um, started going like I was on an antidepressant for years, but like I never stayed on top of going to like my psychiatrist at the VA. So I started seeing him regularly and he would adjust my medication every time I went in, depending on how I was feeling. So I got that right. And with not drinking, it finally like started working. And then I still went to a therapist for quite a while until I felt like I was in a better place. Eventually, like, man, you give up the alcohol and like a lot of things change for you. I mean,
yeah,
and then, ended up finding like renewing my relationship with God and
heck yeah.
read the Bible a lot. And I know a lot of people do that quit drinking, but yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome, man. So it sounds like you found your footing. You're doing great today. What advice would you give guys that are still stuck in that hole that you were in for many years?
I mean, I think if you look at it from like a combat perspective, like you have to attack it from multiple angles to get over it. So you can try therapy, but doing that is not going to be the only thing that gets you through. Like you got to get there's multiple issues that you're dealing with. It's more than likely substance abuse along with PTSD. And, I would really say not, if you don't have a relationship with God too, like when you do, you'll just feel different. And you have to work on all sides of it. So I know a lot of dudes, like myself included, have a lot of childhood trauma, and I would always think about that too, along with the PTSD. So I worked on that. I worked on the alcohol, and don't be afraid to like try AA, man, because it's a great program.
Yeah.
Like everybody in there's going through the same stuff you are, and like they're all recovering people just like you, and there's no shame in it. You'll see people and they'll see tons of people in there, if you're from the area. I was like, holy shit, I went to that dude in high school. I don't know him from high school. I know her from high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's it's a huge problem in our society, and like you're not alone in what you're going through. Like there
Yeah.
are people out there.
I mean,
And I talk to my buddies every day too on Facebook, and that helps. And like most of the guys I went to come, so
yeah. That's what I was gonna say. A lot of us have, and like even though I say I take 3 months off a year, I hardly drink. I really don't. I don't drink anywhere near as much as I used to. If I go to a Mexican restaurant, I have a beer. If I go to a restaurant, I might have a beer or two, and I might buy a 6-pack on college football day on a Saturday. But that's it, dude. I'm like really getting to the point where it's almost just like you realize you're poisoning your body. And once you come off of that poison and you get clear headed and you can see, you're just like, oh,
yeah.
this is great. Like normal, quote unquote, again, and but it's a long process, man. And guys, it's hard to work towards. And I would say that anybody out there that that needs to reach out. I mean, I don't know about you. I'm sure you, but like I tell everybody, message me, dude. I've got guys from this podcast that have downloaded this podcast that message me regularly and like, dude, I just want to say thanks. Your guys' stories help me out. You know, and it's just like it's feeling like you're back with the boys. You know, somebody sits down and listens to this podcast, they're like, damn, yeah, I remember that, or yeah, you know, that's kind of stuff we did. And for some people, that's what it takes, is just to kind of feel like they belong again and they're not
Yeah.
alone, you know? And
I think like what you said, like a lot of dudes, I know they don't like to talk about it, but you know, I was even telling you I need to get on here and do some PTSD therapy because talking about it from the things I've learned and the way it makes me feel, like exposing yourself to that over and over, it makes it to where it's not as big of a deal to
yeah,
your brain, basically. It's like when you do something really stupid and you can't get over it. And then over time, eventually you're like, okay, I'm over that now, you know, or like a heartbreak. Your heart's broken forever, whether it be, you know, a woman or loss of a family member or whatever. And then eventually over time, you get over it. It's like the same thing. You revisit that trauma and then talk about it. Plus, people want to hear your stories, man, and they need to hear our stories because people need to like have an appreciation for what we do, especially with like, I mean, I think like the political environment that we're in and everything. People have forgotten um, what our generation has done for this country, and then you know, obviously the people that came before us.
yeah, yeah. I think that, you know, we a lot of times we forget what it costs, and that's what it boils down to. And that's why, for those of you who are, if you want to listen to my live streams, that's kind of what I talk about too, is the cost. Is, you know, that I'm going through the Afghanistan papers right now, and dude, I don't even want to talk about what a cover up. And like they knew, like we had no strategy in Afghanistan.
Mhm.
Like from 2002 on to all the way to 2020, they had zero strategy. They didn't know. And or whenever we left, I'd say 2020. But yeah, man. But I think I'm gonna end it here.
Yeah,
But like
my
I
phone's
really,
about dead too. So,
yeah, yeah. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. If you want to say one last thing, just tell everybody how you feel. If you got anything you want to promote, go ahead.
man, I would just say, I mean, the one thing that I want to accomplish by coming on is obviously, you know, getting our stories out there for people to hear. I remember like my grandpa told me little tiny bits about World War II, and I was always fascinated. And our stories will inspire the next generation of warfighters too that take
Yeah,
our place. And you know, we've walked in the feet of giants, and it's the same way that they're going to walk in our shoes. And also, like I said, like getting sober and you know, rediscovering my relationship with Christ for anybody struggling out there is definitely, God, I encourage you to do it. So you hear it all the time how people are changed, and you know, I'm living, breathing proof of that. So